Let's go. Woman out of Philly, so you know it get really raw. Know you gon' relate to everything when you hear us talk. Came up out of city where you learn from every single scar. Cherish all our wins, cause we not a stranger to the loss. I was just a girl, just focused on surviving. I done grown up in womanhood and started thriving. Here we cherish love, marriage, commitment. City where it's brotherly love, don't want division. Maturity is something I want, then I'm consistent. Something I want, I'm gon' get it. I learned to have intention and movement with purpose. Learn it if it costs you your peace, it isn't worth it. Honoring the lessons that turn into legacy. The past is what made me a more for what's ahead of me. Walking in alignment, every step is meant to be. Womanhood and love, it's not a trend, it's the recipe.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope everyone's staying warm today. I just came back in the house from being with the dog, so I'm trying to get back to my warm space. Let's see. I guess I'm as ready as I'm going to be. I was this close to canceling the live. I said, stick to your commitments. So good morning. Thank you for coming in, Lorna. YouTube Unfolded. Good morning. D7, thank you for coming through. I guess this is early evening for you. Thank you for stopping in. Lisa, thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you. So, it is still snowing here in good old Philly, PA. As I just mentioned, I was out with the dog. Of course, he loves the snow. Me, not so much, but he had a good time. Hey, Clark, thanks for stopping in. So hopefully he'll be good for the rest of the day as far as the snow is concerned. and don't start whining or barking for me to take him back out. The hubby is out, working, making that extra money. Shout out to hubby. However, well, let me not say however. Before he went in, he did shoveled a little bit of snow at that time and put some salt down. But of course, we have like 4 inches right now, and it's still 4 or 5 inches. It's still snowing. Um, and somebody did come past asking if I wanted them to shove. I was like, nope, nope, not at all. So I'll wait for the hubby to get home so he can shovel it. We not having that conversation again. Um, for those in the chat, have you gotten any snow? And if so, how much? My sister is down in Virginia, and she said when she got up this morning to go to church, they had gotten snow, but she said by the time she got up for church, it was gone. I think she said it's raining, so the rain, cleared out the snow, and she said it's about 40 degrees right now. Definitely not that. Hey, Speak, thanks for stopping in. Which part is messed up, Speak? The part that I was about to throw my husband under the bus, but I didn't. Hey, P, thanks for stopping in. Or the part where somebody came to ask the shovel and I told them no. You know, I mentioned that whole not wanting to oh god, now I can't think of the word. uh my husband, so I've learned my lesson. Oh my good, 15 inches. I don't think we're getting that much. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. However, I think the most they were talking about was 13 inches. Hopefully we won't see that. And my biggest concern, um hey P, in case I didn't shout you out already, my biggest concern is this rain that's coming, and the below freezing temperatures, and everything turning into one huge sheet of ice. Hey, last call. Thanks for stopping in. Um, the snow, I can kind of maneuver, but that ice, I don't mess with it at all. Clark says it's 18 degrees. Is it snowing where you're at, Clark? Let's see. What are they saying the temperature is here right now? Oh, 22 degrees. Feels like 4. Okay. I got the heat cranked up, so I'm warm. I did make me some more coffee. Got that in. Um, pardon me. Take another sip of the coffee. And so I have been so caught up in this TV show called Gangs of London, and it's on the third season just started. I don't know if it started last week or the week before, but I started with season 1, and I'm up to season 3 now, and it's good. If anybody hasn't checked it out, check it out. It is I guess it's a crime TV show. It's called Gangs of London. So I guess like the equivalency of mob bosses. Um, and I won't spoil it for folks, but it's really good. You got the crime. It's a thriller. Um, it's kind of gory. When folks are getting off. Got that good bloodshed. So I can have that little piece of horror. Um, but I'm really enjoying that, and I think I'm caught up. Um, Not unless it had just cut off, or maybe my TV was telling me I needed a break from watching it because I know I didn't finish season 3. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see, gangs, and I'm watching it on the AMC Plus app on Prime. Let's see. It says 3 seasons. Nope, there's only two episodes of season 3 so far, so I'm caught up. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I don't know. Talked about the snow. Talked about what I'm watching. I did mention how I was going to cancel the live, just being bundled up and watching TV and enjoying my house to myself. Except for the animals, but they're no bother. Yeah, that's it. Should I go for 30 minutes? What else is going on? Did anything happen during the week? Seems like I had meeting after meeting after meeting last week. I think everybody wanted to get meetings out of the way ahead of the snowstorm, in case businesses and such shut down. Hey, you say, thanks for stopping in. I know that the local government, the city of Philadelphia, and the school district announced either Thursday or Friday that they're definitely going to be closed on Monday. Our public transportation system, SEPTA, I got a notification that they've suspended services. And I haven't heard a lot of vehicles going up and down the road. So hopefully people are staying in, staying safe. I did ask my husband if there were any cars on the road when he went in this morning, and he said there were a couple. And the city hadn't plowed or salted yet, so it was a slippery ride in for him, but thank goodness he made it safely. I know there's 2 football games today. I think the first game is New England at Denver. That should be a good game. I have no salt in either of these games, but if I had to choose, I'd take Denver. And then with the Rams in Seattle, I don't know. I'm leaning towards the Rams. But something tells me that Seattle's going to go. And I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at seeing Seattle. I think Seattle has been playing better, more consistent football than the Rams. And the Rams are good at shooting themselves at the foot. Not as bad as the Giants. Sorry, brother, if you listen to this. But the Giants are good at shoot themselves in the foot in games. And the Rams can be that way as well. Wouldn't be mad for either one of those teams. Leaning towards the Rams, but I think Seattle will win. Hey, TMK, thanks for stopping in. I'm just rambling, trying to fill the time because I didn't take the time to come up with a topic because I was too busy watching TV. Hey, Spider. Spider. Shout out to Plaxico. and Of course, I'm from Philadelphia, so I'm an Eagles fan. However, I don't consider myself a diehard Eagles fan. That would be my husband. I don't hate anyone in our division. Hey, a brother of a certain age, you would come in when I do the shot. But thank you for stopping in. Um, I don't hate the Commanders, the Giants, or the Cowboys. What I'll say about the Cowboys and in Philadelphia, I can't stand Cowboys fans. Um, but the team, as far as the team, I don't hate them. Of course, I always want the Eagles to whip their asses, but we usually split the season with Dallas. And the Giants, believe it or not, I was a semi not true YouTuber folded. I'm talking about the Cowboys fans specifically in Philadelphia, because they can be a pain in the ass. Um, and it's always, how many rings do the Eagles have? We have more. I was like, well, what has your team done for me lately? But anyhow, I was a semi Giants fan many moons ago, and that would have been during the when Lawrence Taylor was there. I wasn't a Giants fan for long, but I was a Giants fan. And one thing about Philadelphia, and this may be true with the other sports cities, is that folks expect you to be a fan of the home team. And when I was little, when I was young, a little girl, I was a Celtics fan. Larry Bird, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson, um, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale. That was my squad. And that there's the whole Sixers Celtics rivalry. So folks hated that I rooted for the Celtics. Hey, Miss T. Pre, thanks for stopping in. Hey, Mikey, thanks for stopping in. Ilana says, I have no love for the New England Patriots. Uh, I don't have any love for them. But even with that team, I never hated them. Even when Belichick and Tom Brady were there, I never hated them. I guess for me, it's hard for me to like just despise a team just because they're not my team. And my husband, I said, "You're not a real Eagles fan. If you were a real Eagles fan, you would wish death on all Cowboys fans." And to me, that's just a little excessive. That's a little extreme. And he goes to the Sixers games, and he can't stand the New York Knicks fans. He says the Knicks fans are worse than Cowboys fans. I don't know. I haven't really been into basketball, the NBA, for, oh my goodness. I probably haven't closely followed the NBA since probably who the three in Miami. Wade, Bosh, and was it LeBron? So all the way back then, of course, I'll root for the Sixers. My husband has wait a minute, not the Celts. I used to love that team. Um, oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the NBA. What I find with the NBA, and probably why I lost my attraction to the sport, is that I couldn't keep up with the players and what teams they were on. You know, it for me it seemed like the players moved around more than NFL players do. Misty Prey, I'm a Sixers fan and a Flyers fan, but a Cowboys fan all day. Hey, more power to you. Y'all get back to the playoffs again one day. Small shot, small shot. It's all love. Um, there was a time when, and I want to say maybe after I was a giant, no, before I was a Giants fan, I think I was a fan of the Bears and maybe Denver. Like I fluctuated with the teams until I didn't really become a true Eagles fan until um Buddy Ryan, maybe the Buddy Ryan era. And I think what was it, Randall Cunningham and the boys. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, or as bad as Cowboys fans. I know in Philadelphia they're horrible. Hey Brixton, thanks for stopping in. Um, I have never, ever followed hockey, so I couldn't tell you anything about hockey. I was at the game when ML Carlo Bridge died. They had to drive the Celts bus down into the arena because it was a lynch mob waiting for him in the parking lot. I bet. I bet. And, and one thing about Unadulterated Truth, he has stories for days. I enjoy talking to him, but I'm sure, and he may enjoy talking more than I do. Fan of my longs. This is Lorna. Fan of my long suffering Toronto Raptors, Maple Leafs, and the Blue Jays. Hey Joe, thanks for stopping in. Now with baseball, I will say, again, I've never really been a Phillies fan. I remember following the Kansas City Royals at one time. I remember being a Mets fan back when they had Daryl Strawberry, and Doc Gooden. So you know how long ago that was. But probably since then, I probably haven't really watched baseball. Yeah. And like it's all these NBA games on now, football, is almost over. So there's so much, basketball to watch, and I don't watch any of it. My husband, like I said, he has season tickets to the Sixers, but so sometimes he'll go, sometimes he'll give his tickets to somebody else. Um, but he'll throw a basketball game on, and I'm doing something else. I just can't. I'm not even. I've lost interest in the NBA All Star. Oops, I'm sorry. One moment. I have a guest, but I have to protect the channel. Let's throw that joint up. Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Hey, lady, were you back there
Hi.
long?
Oh no, honey, just a couple minutes. No big deal. I was just listening.
Thank you, honey. How are you feeling?
A little tired, a little tired. I just got your text. I just got it.
Okay. It was no
So,
worry. Just
okay.
checking on you.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Hope everybody doing pretty darn good this morning.
It's my sister from another mister.
So my sisters, I got so many family members in Philly. So Philly's my second home.
Yes, you're
Okay, darling.
always welcome.
Thank you.
You
Are you
leaving?
talking? Yeah, I'm a little tired. I'm gonna go on
Okay,
and
honey. Well, thanks for stopping in, honey.
yeah, I had to show you some love, of course. And that scene that you got is exactly what I'm doing, honey.
Yes.
Only
That's
the
what I
sun.
was that's what I was doing while I was watching TV and before I took the dog out.
Uh-huh.
I'll get
Okay.
back there, once I end the live. But
Okay,
take
love.
care of yourself. I'm not gonna
Definitely,
make you
definitely.
laugh.
Please
So
don't.
yeah.
Okay, honey. Well, I'm gonna be listening to everything. You guys were talking about basketball or sports or something like that. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
continue vibing with the show, and I'll see you later. You know I
All
love you.
right. Love you too, honey.
All right, darling.
All right. Bye bye. Excuse me. YouTube unfolded as I was a big Mets fan, always been a Cowboys fan. My mom was. And I was a heavy 76ers fan. Went to all home games one season. That was long ago. I'm now a Hornets fan. Okay. And let's see. Oops. If I will be watching hockey during the Olympics. I don't even watch hockey during the Olympics. If we're talking about the Winter Olympics, I'll watch. What do I watch in the Winter Olympics? I enjoy watching the skiing competitions. I can't ski to save my life. I've attempted. I've failed. But I really enjoy watching the different skiing events. That was crazy. The closest I this is Brixton to unadulterated truth. That's crazy. LOL, that's crazy. The closest I've experienced that shit is when I went to watch Chelsea and Naples. Those Italian ultras are no joke. It's beyond hooliganism. Well, I think everybody knows about, the Eagles fair throw the ice balls at Santa Claus. I think that's where we got the Eagles fair got our bad rep from. If the Mets could have kept Strawberry and Gooden away from the Coke, they would exactly the nose candy. And I was a baseball fan. And see, my father played baseball, when he was younger. So he always had baseball on. But of course, I've I've never liked the team that he liked, which kept it good, the talking trash, to each other, and all in good fun. And he's a Steelers fan, and he's a as far as football, and he's been a Steelers fan for a long time, and he's going to a few of their championship games. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl, but he has gone to been at the championship games to watch them win. Even though I think he's going to somewhere they've lost as well. Um, let's see. Baseball is better in the stadium than on TV. Saw a game in Baltimore with Baltimore Orioles and Cal Ripken. Now, what I'll say is, as I've mentioned, I love to talk. So, me going to a sports event or to the movies or any type of show grinds my husband's gears because I talk, 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 talk. And I'm sure the folks around us hate it. So, and I know with the movies, if I couldn't talk, I would always end up going to sleep. So it's a waste of money either way. That's why the last movie I saw in the movie theater was the first ride along. And I've never been to an Eagles game, but when was the last Sixers game I went to? I think Allen Iverson might have been playing the last time I went to a Sixers game. There are a few black hockey players this year, the highest in NHL history. Oh, good. Oh, Mrs. Murph, like Lawrence Taylor. Common thread. No, no, say it ain't so. Let me name somebody else that was on the team that was a or on the coca. I don't know. They all might have been all on it. Um uh and UA said they are very racist there too, even against their own players. YouTube Unfolded. I will be watching curling. Now that curling is something that I watch too, but it's not something that I look forward to watching. And unadulterated truth. To Brixton, they have fights at Maracana and Reno. I mean in Rio, but it's just about the teams, usually Flamingo and Fluminense. I'm sure I'm butchering names. My apologies. Leela Edward, who is 22, will make history as the first black woman um, in the U.S. Olympic team. She is from Wisconsin. What's her sport? Or did I miss it? Bro, it's the most backward shit. Their last skedaddle. Oh, y'all really trying to get me on these words. Was led by a Nigerian, but yeah, they don't care. They're throwing banana. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Figure skating, and I'll date myself if I mention the last time I watched figure skating. Although it seems like I've been dating myself this whole time. Hey, that's what happens when y'all both 60, right? Um, what was I saying before my opinion came up? I don't. Oh, the rivalries and me never. I think I was saying that before she came up. I don't know. It left my brain. Joe two. Everybody speaking. Clark, yes, and also the Jamaican bobsled teams. Are they still? Is that still a thing? Are the Jamaicans still doing bobsledding in the Winter Olympics? I know I'm way behind. I'm sorry. I'm behind, but I'm nice and warm. Leila Edwards' sport is hockey. Okay. Thank you, Lorna. Um, I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, and so just to go back to my dad, he has never been a fan of any Philadelphia team. I know, like I said, Pittsburgh is his team for football. Um, the Lakers. He's been a Lakers fan as far as I can remember. I thought once LeBron went there, he was going to switch teams, but nope, he's still a fan of the team, just not of LeBron. I don't know. I don't know what his issue is with LeBron, but he doesn't like LeBron at all. But I don't know who his baseball team is, but he also follows golf, and I've never been able to get into that. Um, yeah. So is there anything else going on, or should I keep talking about some sports? This coffee is delicious. Hold on. So I'm debating on whether or not I'm gonna cook dinner tonight. I made some chicken noodle soup in a crock pot yesterday. So there's only two of us, so there's still plenty of that left. I've been wanting some hot wings, so I did take some wings out of the freezer this morning. I may or may not make them later. I could hold off until tomorrow. Um, I might just continue to be cozy and lazy in front of the TV. Since my Gangs of London is over, I gotta find something else to watch. See what movies are out there. I need something good that I can get into, or even a TV show that I can engross myself in. Okay, Lorna says, yes, Jamaica has a 4 and 2 person bobsled team trained in Canada, and they have professional uniforms and upgraded bobsleds. They placed first in a competition in Cato, in Canada, to qualify for Olympics. Well, good for them. If they like it, I love it. Um, does anyone have any suggestions on a TV show that I could get into? I did finish watching before I started on Gangs of London. I did finish the 2 seasons of what was the show I suggested last week? Castle Rock. I did finish that. I do have like 4 episodes left of the show with Kim Kardashian and Naomi Watts. I can't think of the name right now. It might be called All's Fair. I can't remember. But I have like four more episodes of that to watch at some point. I'm not really in a rush on that one. Um I haven't watched Frankenstein on Netflix yet. I've tried it, but like I like to you gotta give me something in like the first 5 minutes or else I'll tune out. Um and it didn't do it for me, but maybe I'll attempt that again. My brother says if you have Hulu, Paradise is a good series. Is that the one with the guy from what was that show? All of Us? I can't think of his name right now. The black guy that was in All of Us. Haven't finished it, but what I've seen so far is good. Sinners just made Oscar history, more nominations than any other movie. Really? Okay. Now, I've watched Sinners a few times and I did enjoy it. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I've heard some folks say it was a horror movie. So I don't know if everyone here's seen it, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody if you haven't seen it. Hulu's on Disney. Yeah, no longer. Yeah, I have Hulu. Um, it's on Disney for sure. Hey, Propane, thanks for stopping in. Oh my goodness, I got a brain freeze again. Oh, Sinners. Um, so I went into it thinking that it was a horror movie, but so while it had horror elements to it, um, it wasn't the typical horror movie, which was probably a good thing. That it wasn't just straight horror, and you had the slow build up. I did really enjoy that movie, and it also had like the racial divide element to it. A lot of times I don't like watching movies or shows with an overwhelming let's say like white supremacy, or I been stopped watching slave movies. Hey Ray, thanks for stopping in. I've been stopped doing that. um but I will say, like, there wasn't too much of it to make it cringeworthy in Sinners. They also had it in if anyone watched the Watchmen series that was on HBO, that had it. And also Lovecraft Country. And see what I normally do is I'll have my husband watch like the first episode or two to let me know if he thinks it would be too much of it for me before I check something out. So while it was there in those moment in those TV shows, I could take it. The story would the stories in both shows and even Sinners were really good, so I can take it. I could take it. Now, what I couldn't take is Django Unchained, or whatever the movie is. And I just watched that movie either last year or the year before last. My husband used to have that movie on all the time. And and he kept telling me, "You'll like it, you'll like it." And I'm like, "I don't know. From what I've been hearing, I don't know." So then when I finally watched it after all those years, I was like, "You lied to me. You said I was going to like it." And he was like, "All the white folk getting killed, Django killing all the white folk. That was an excellent movie." And I was like, it was, just all the, nigga, 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 nigga. I give that movie two thumbs down. Starry Jamie and Samuel L. Jackson, but nah, I, I watched it once and will never watch it again. Tarantino is an acquired taste, to be fair. Yeah. Tarantino movies go over the top with the language. Yes. Hey YM, thanks for coming in. With Quentin Tarantino, I would say the first movie of his that I watched was I think it was Reservoir Dogs. But I was in and out of it, wasn't really paying attention to it or whatever. And I think the next one I tried was Pulp Fiction. And I did actually like that movie. Even though, I had the nigga like all his movies. And what rubbed me the wrong way about the movie was the ball gag that Ving Rhames had. I'm a, I don't know if everybody's seen Pulp Fiction, but I think that's old enough that I wouldn't be spoiling anything. Um, the ball gag and how they was getting ready to you know do the do. I don't like that at all. Um, I still enjoy his movies, and the more he's left on cinema, but he's definitely. I, I don't see with him. It's way too much of the nigga with the hard er, and for me, I think it's done purposely, and I don't know if it's for that shock value. I don't know if he gets off on it. Um, I don't know if it's him doing it and then laughing at all these black folk enjoying his movies, even with all the niggas with the hard ERs in it. I don't know. I don't. So I just no. If I know that he directed a movie again, I'll wait and let somebody tell me whether or not it's too much. I can't, because I mean, really, is that really necessary? I mean, depending on the movie, and of course, if you're going to do a movie that's from the slave, the slave era, you're going to have it. If you're doing a movie that has, the white supremacists in it, of course, you're going to hear it. Um, but does it have to be to that extreme? That's my question. And yeah, it's just not for me. And like I said, with Watchmen and Lovecraft Country, um the tone wasn't like, I wasn't getting beat over the head with it. If I say, there were moments in each of those series, with houses being burnt, the Klan, folks undercover as Klansmen or whatever. But it wasn't like too much of it for me, if that makes any sense. Now Jackie Brown I did like. I forgot about that. Yeah, gratuitously. Yeah. And like I said, I don't shoving it in our face, and he's white. Would I feel differently if it was a black director that did that? Maybe, but I don't know. But if it now, let me take a moment to think about that. Um, but with and when I say that, I'm thinking about like the black movie, the quote unquote black movies, where the folks are calling each other nigga, and it doesn't bother me at all. And I'm sure it's because they're black. Yeah, so maybe if it was a black director, maybe it wouldn't bother me. See all of his films, but in the last few rounds, he's been harder to stomach. Mm, few rounds have been a joke. Things haven't peaked at Django. I don't even know what he's done past then. And I didn't see all of I saw bits and pieces of the Kill Bill movies. I haven't seen the whole thing. All of either movie. And I at this point I probably won't. Unless somebody tells me that they're a must watch. Pulp Fiction was cool. He had a great cast. I mean, it was definitely like Pulp Fiction was an all-star cast, and like I said, I just had that the issue with the whole ball gag and Ving Rhames, and he was about to get um rammed. You know, I don't like that. The whole you know, buck breaking, that just does something to me, knowing that, that's how our men have been treated, as a way of breaking them. Yeah, that just does something to me. Can't do it. I was one day at work, and this was some years ago. Um, Someone there, and it was a guy, and he had a video, and he was like, "You got to see this." And when I looked at his phone, it was, and I don't know what the movie's called or whatever, but it was slave times, and the men were like in the oh my goodness, whatever the thing is called that they would put the people's, had their heads and hands in, and had them bent over, and they had this object or whatever. I didn't see it because I knew what was coming, but talk about cussing somebody out. That guy caught an earful, and for the life of me, I still don't know why he thought I would want to see that. Um, and he claimed he didn't mean any harm, and he was going to have a serious conversation about it. But first off, why me? I mean, yeah, I'm pro-black, but why would I need to see this? But it just butt breaking. Can't do it. The stars aligned when he didn't get to direct True. Oh my goodness, I love True Romance. There was a point in time where that was one of my favorite movies. So wait a minute, he didn't direct. Okay, he didn't direct it. Okay, I was going to say if he did direct that, that would probably have been the first movie of his I saw. Um, and that had a all star cast as well. I don't know if everyone in it was a star at the time, but many people that were in True Romance had success. Excellent point about True Romance. Yeah, maybe I'll dig that. Maybe I'll see if I can find that and watch it. I haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, I like Inglorious. I actually forgot about that. I haven't seen that. Uh, um, yeah, that got thinking about that. It just got the hairs on the back of my neck standing up a little bit. Let me find something else to talk about. I could talk about my dog again and how he enjoyed playing in the snow. He's a we have a all black Corso, but he has like a little patch of white on his chest, and he just enjoyed it. He and Peace Coco are around the same age, but my baby is huge. Let's see, where am I at? Mrs. Murph, True Romance is an easy top 3 movie of all time. No, it was on the Scott Brothers. Okay. But I really enjoyed that movie. And when I watched it, when I first saw it, it was really on a humbug, and I couldn't, and I was just amazed at it, how much I enjoyed that movie. And I used to watch that movie to death. That contraption, Pillory, Clark, yeah. Ugh, no pillories for me. Oops, I missed something. Actually, I was actually scared to watch that movie. Okay. Are you talking about Inglorious Bastards, YM? When I was younger, I loved extreme movies. I think that's why Tarantino sticks with me. I watch Natural Born Killers. Yeah. Now, was that his movie too? I don't think I saw all of that movie. Okay, I got you. Um, it sometimes I can do extreme, but I guess it depends on what the extreme is or what the over the topness is. Um, and and I'll just say, for instance, hey, beautiful. Thanks for coming in. For instance, I'm a horror movie buff. And there are all different types of horror movies. There are some horror movies that I would say can be extreme with the blood and gore. Um, when it's not necessary. Um, Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's about how it's done, maybe, and like even like profanity. Some movies can be extreme with the profanity, and I think with Natural Born Killers, the killings were extreme. If I'm understanding why that so again, sometimes I can take it, sometimes I can't. Sometimes it's about how it's done. Sometimes it's about the actors. Um, I don't know. It all depends. Okay. Yeah, I'm not very good with knowing directors. There were two movies that I walked out on. One movie was that horrible horror movie, The Mangler, that we had only went to see it because Robert Englund was in it, from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But it was so bad we walked out of it. Then there was and I don't know if this was before or after that movie. Um, it was a Jean Claude Van Damme movie, and I think it was about oh my god, knocking boots, kicking boots, something. It was it um like fake jeans or imitation jeans or whatever it was, whatever that movie was, we whatever it was about, we had walked out on that one. All right, and Clark says, I just watched The Family That Pray for the 100th time. I watched Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion this weekend. Okay. All right, thanks, Clark. I will watch cheesy Christmas movies all year. The one Christmas movie that I have always watched, during Christmas time, it's a Christmas Story, but I didn't watch it this past Christmas. It got away from me. I like older movies like Cotton Comes to Harlem and Harlem Nights, which I watch on channels like Tubi. Okay, thank you, Lorna. I don't think I've ever walked out on a movie. Yep, it was two of them. Yeah, whatever that John Claude movie was, and The Mangler. The Cabin was the other movie I walked out on. Unnecessary Hardy Yarn. And movies suck. I'm not familiar with The Cat, but no need for me to look it up. uh, saying hi to Beautiful. Did you like Fight Club? I love Fight Club, and I watched that many, many, many times. That would have been a good movie to watch this weekend, and I enjoyed the plot twist. I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed Fight Club, and we had it on VHS and probably wore it out. And that's another movie I haven't watched in years. Okay. Extreme but psychological. Yeah, I enjoyed that movie a lot. Mrs. Murph. What did I do? What did I do, Ryan? The book is really good too. What we talking Fight Club? I haven't read the book. Okay. The Cabin. Now I feel like I'm intrigued about The Cabin, but if it sucks, I'm not gonna look into it. I love Jane Austen movies. I have both Pride and Prejudice movies in my DVD collection, and I don't think I've watched any Jane Austen movies, or if I have, it hasn't been. It wouldn't have been in the past couple of decades. Um, I watch a lot of horror, some thrillers, crime movies. I very rarely do rom coms. With comedies, I'll usually end up watching a comedy like if my husband or the kids have something on. I don't seek them out. Um, it's funny. Um, my sister, back when Love and Basketball came out, she had told me we were going to see something else, but we ended up going to see that. And I actually enjoyed that movie. And normally I definitely wouldn't have gone to see a movie like that in the theater. And like I've never seen Love Jones. And that's I'm told that's like a black classic, and I've never seen Love Jones. There were some very entertaining black exploitation movies back in the day. My mom used to take us to the Capitol and Nixon on 52nd Street, as well as the Tower and Eric Terminal. Yeah, and black exploitation movies I can do. Like I haven't, or at least I haven't come across one that I found like totally offensive. I can do those. Um and if we well do are the is Uptown Saturday Night considered black exploitation? Because I know that I like that movie. Uptown Saturday Night and What was the other one with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier in it? Um, Uptown Saturday Night and oh my goodness, Let's Do It Again. Is that the name of the other one? I watched both of those. I'm not quite sure if they're considered black exploitation. But if they are, those would be like my favorites. Good Shepherd. Oh, wait a minute. Am I far behind? Where's I'm at? Okay. Sasha Baron Cohen. Is Sasha Baron Cohen the one that was the fake rapper? I forget what the name was, but I think he had like a fake a rapper character. Love Jones, I have never seen either. Yeah. And I keep saying one of these days, if my husband would ever put it on, or if the kids would ever put it on, I would probably watch it. But I guess they're not thinking about that at this point. But what I'll say is, like, when all the kids are here, um, they like the Temptations. I think it was a two-part mini series. So I've seen that 1,000 times. We really like that. Um, and I've really enjoyed the Five Heartbeats, but I seem to be the only one in the family that really loved that movie. You know, that's fake. That wasn't a real group, but I thought it was a great movie, a piece of the action. Thank you, TMK. So it was Let's Do It Again. Was that two different people or it just wasn't the same characters? Or maybe I don't even have a name right. Piece of the action. Cosby and Porter made some classics back in the day. Let's Do It Again. Okay. Okay, thanks, YM. All right, Lauren. The movies or TV shows where women kick ass are big in my household. Angelina Jolie and Tomb Raider and Xena Princess Warrior. My husband's Enter the Dragon was the inspiration. Okay. Um, and see, my husband, he, I would say he likes. I would say that his favorite genre is probably documentaries. Um, but he'll watch. He'll give some movies a try. Like he's more open with movies that I am. Neither one of us really watch romances. Um, and again, he's usually the documentary person or finding a good series and he's on Facebook too. So he gets a lot of suggestions from his Facebook people. You have a thing for Lorenz Tate. Boy, Ali G, yeah. Okay. The fake rapper. The Five Heartbeats. And I've probably watched the Five Heartbeats more than I've watched the Temptations. Just enjoy it. Love Jones is a classic. Maybe one of these days I'll see it, Clerk. Yeah. I don't think I ever watched Xena, a Warrior Princess, or Hercules. I think Xena was a spinoff of Hercules, I think. I could be wrong now. One show that my husband's been watching, um, that I only watched like the first couple of episodes and I was done. For anyone that watched Spartacus, when Spartacus was on, Stars has I want to say a fake sequel with the character Asher, who was actually beheaded in the TV series. So this show is like a what if Asher lived or whatever. I can't get into it, but my husband was watching it faithfully. I don't know if it's over yet or not. Um, but yeah, I couldn't get it. And I was really into the Spartacus. I would say the first season. Then their second season was a prequel because the star of the show was diagnosed with cancer. So they did a prequel. So then when they were ready to do a sequel to Spartacus, the guy who had played the main character had been I don't know if he had passed away yet, but he has since passed away. But they recast the character, and the show just wasn't the same for me. Uh, UT says I'm a huge documentary lover too. All right, but I'm not a movie buff. I watch 20 documentaries for every movie I watch. Yeah, that's my husband, and like some documentaries he watches is just like obscure stuff that I'm like, ew, or why. But he's really into it, you know. I let him be great. You know, he doesn't bother me when I watch my stuff, so I let him watch his stuff. And there's a not a documentary, but there's a YouTube channel. He calls the guy the Ant Man. I don't know what the channel is called, but it's this guy that has and I can't even really call it a it's not, like aquariums, like humongous aquariums. I forget what the correct term is. But all over his house or all over this building or whatever, where he has, ants, snakes. I think he has some quails, slug. I'm sorry. Um, ants, turtles, shrews, tarantulas, like a bunch of different types of ants too, or whatever. But he posts new episodes every Sunday, and like that's like a must watch for my husband. What he calls him the Ant Man. Um, but I don't know what his channel is called. And then he also watches this a YouTube channel with these it's these older white guys that are twins, and they're the rat guys, where they go to people's homes that have like rat infestations, and finds out how the rats are getting in and all that. Too much for me. Have at it. Hopeless by Dion Ferris. Oh well, I never knew about the Ali G show. And P says, I just watched a good documentary on the oops, I have a guest. Oh my goodness, I hope you weren't back there for a long time. Oh, I have two guests. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. I've been back there for so long. This is just
I'm
ridiculous.
sorry. I wasn't looking. I'm sorry.
Nah, you was doing your
Hello.
thing. Though. You was doing your thing.
I
Hello.
got here. I got here 60 seconds before.
Oh my goodness. I am so sorry,
I'm good.
gentlemen.
I'm
Just
good.
running my mouth. Oh my
No,
goodness.
you was holding it
I
down.
feel horrible.
No,
So
no,
look, talking about a whole bunch of nothing.
you know what it is. You know,
Yes.
she want this boring thing for herself, and
No,
she
not
saw
at all.
she saw two people in the back that, you know what I'm saying, and she was like, we can't, it's not enough room.
And with his flashing green, I don't know how that didn't draw my eye to it. I am so sorry, gentlemen.
I just got here. That's what
Oh,
probably
okay.
it probably drew your eye to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got here, so I was like, man, I gotta support the Boring Network. 'Cause brother is sitting in the audience. You know, he's cheerleading, but not up here. So I said, let me test out the setup and come through.
Okay. So what can I do for you fellas? You got some good shows or movies for me, or you want to talk about something else?
Now I do have something that I want to do a nice little panel discussion, and I mentioned it before,
Okay.
but I need some cooperation. But it's the show Accused, the Megan Story episode of the show Accused, and it is about a busy wife who buys her husband an artificial.
Oh yeah, yeah. The sex partner.
Yeah. So it's
I haven't seen that.
what's the
Is there 2 seasons of that?
there's a couple of seasons of it. This
Okay.
episode is called Accused, and it's with Sonequa Martin Green, and then the
She was
husband.
in The Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
husband is Michael Coulter
she was in Star Trek.
from the
Yeah.
what's the series Luke Cage. He was the lead.
Yes.
Her husband
Okay.
is. So if you like them
Okay.
too, and just go watch it about it. But I would like to have you know like 5, 10 people. Let's discuss the whole idea and talk about that type of thing. But if I
Okay.
just need your cooperation.
Okay. As long as it's not at night.
I mean, I'll be flexible.
See, nights are bad for me because my husband's home and I try not to I do my best not to be on a panel or talk on the phone when he's home, not because he be all in my business,
Mm,
but I try to be as present as I can
I thought she was going
when
another
he's
direction with that, but
what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
yeah.
I keep forgetting 20 years of marriage. There ain't no, oh, and I had to give him all my loving and attention. That faded out in year 3.
Yeah.
That been gone. I don't
I
know what the
thought
hell I was thinking.
Doc, I
Yeah.
thought she was gonna say because I ain't got to buy my husband no artificial nothing, and that's why I'm up here. But
That's the last thing. I wish a robot would come in her house and be in the bed and be. I think be
Nah,
spare
not
parts.
over here.
It'd be
So
spare
watch
parts.
you. Okay.
Where's Megan? Oh, she's in your car radio now. She's the new amp you was asking about.
did you see the episode, Doc?
I saw the those channels that do the synopsis. I thought it
Oh,
was a
okay.
movie.
Oh, okay.
So
And that's the thing. It's only about 45 minutes to an hour long. It's just an episode, so that's
yeah.
why I felt
So,
like it's not.
I thought it was
It's not asking too. You know what I'm saying? You ask somebody to watch a series or a whole movie, it's kind of like, but I think it'd be worth it. A fun discussion, worth it.
I'll check it out. Now, just refresh me. Is Accused the series where someone's on trial?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we had started I don't know how many seasons there are, but we had tried the first season and we stopped. And when I say we, I mean me and my husband. We stopped watching because it seemed like the episodes where the main characters were black, they weren't getting off. They were going to jail. And in the other episodes, the folks were either getting off or something else happened. So, I was done. So I guess I didn't give it enough time or whatever.
Yeah, this was season 2, episode 8. So you would have had to hang in there a little
Okay.
bit longer. Just I didn't watch any. I never seen any of the other episodes. Somebody pointed it out to me. It was like, you should check this out. Because I think when I did that AI
Mm-hmm.
AI thing on my channel. I think it was around that time, and I was like, oh, let me see this. It was
Okay.
good. I thought it was good. Anyways.
Yeah, when you were talking about the black exploitation, it's funny
Mm-hmm.
um, that a lot of people protested. When the movies were being made, they talk about the imagery, but now they're classics. A lot of the black sitcoms like Martin and those people ripped. I don't want to say ripped off. I'm gonna say nice way, pay homage to,
Right.
because he had all of the characters from all of the shows, all of the movies on his show,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the storylines and themes he took. I mean, he had a whole episode. Remember the one, the players ball or whatever they had on Martin. So
Mm-hmm.
those are classic films. Plus, I'm big Pam Grier fan. Uh,
Okay.
like she was the pioneer.
Right.
That made it. You know, made it possible for a lot of the black actresses to come up. That's why I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna get
Mm-hmm.
all. It's Sunday. I'm gonna get all like, it's a word I'm looking for. But when I see a lot of the women right in these movies where like
Mm-hmm.
they just instantly do these nude scenes, I'll be like, sister, check this out. Like, don't let these people make you take your clothes off in some B movie. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
always because they do it in every movie. It's like, here they go. I'm like, Pam did all of that back then, so you don't have to. I mean, if you get a Demi Moore who will do a shower scene like G.I. Jane, Demi's getting 1.4 million if you're gonna see her
Mm-hmm.
in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Um, Matter of fact, what's funny, Demi cut her hair off. She got 250,000 just for cutting her hair off, and then like another hundred
Mm-hmm.
grand because she did it herself. Like that's what I'm saying. Like know your worth. Like don't let
Yeah.
these, because those directors, they'll write that in. They'll be like, okay, this is the part where you get naked. Nah, man, you can do this same scene under the cover. You ain't got to be nude all up in here, and they not even paying you half a scale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
The
those movies did a lot in that aspect.
gratuitous nude scenes we used to call them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Now
guess
Tubi, go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say, I guess as I gotten older, I got a little bit more sensitive, but I can't say that the young me minded.
Oh hell no! Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I said, I was looking for a word. I couldn't find a word for myself. Yeah, I was the hypocrite is the word, because back in the day, I mean, Pam was setting it out. I mean, we was all up in there glued, as youngsters sneaking in,
Yeah.
the movies, but
At
Pam,
least it's more balanced now because
yeah.
at least they're having the men be nude now. Back in the day, it was rare for the male nude
Oh
scenes
Well,
for
no,
their
no male
we didn't
stuff
nudity.
to
It's
be shown.
outrage.
we
It's
didn't mind.
outrage. Look.
Yeah, we didn't mind
Now,
that.
Y'all
sorry.
didn't mind.
Now, y'all keep that. Now, everybody want to see that. That it's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? But,
What's up with this misandrous view of the male? We can't be having men looking at as pieces of meat.
It's all over the place now. It don't do nothing for me, but
yeah, I think
it's there.
HBO Oz was. I think they made that. I used to be like,
Yeah,
Jesus Lord. I was just forward. I'm like, man, I already know what's coming. Let's go. Let's keep this thing moving. Like,
yeah. So I have a question. Do either of you watch Black Mirror?
No, I never seen that. What is that? Let me see.
It's a sci-fi show on Netflix. At least that's where I've seen it. Where it's a different I guess Light with Accused is a different story, with each episode.
Oh wow, we got 8 seasons. I don't think I ever heard of it.
Yeah, and I forget what season it was, but there was an episode that had I think it was Anthony Mackie and the guy that played Candyman in the
Oh,
remake.
oh no,
Tony
the other
Todd.
guy. No, you talking about the other guy.
Not Tony Todd. The
Yeah,
one that was in the remake.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, Abdul
Oh,
Mateen. It says it's season
hey,
5.
UT.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody?
Was good. Was good.
Welcome.
Thank
It's,
you.
it's
Appreciate it.
called
Well,
Strike Vipers is the episode.
yes,
Yeah.
and it was an episode where these two guys were doing like this virtual reality game or whatever, but then they ended up having relations. And I didn't even finish that episode. I probably should have, but I didn't. I was like, why did it have to be an episode with two brothers where they want to have, them be,
Yeah.
having these sexual fantasies with one another.
I find we real sensitive about it.
And see, I don't like that kind of stuff. Oh, I don't like a lot of stuff, huh?
Word.
Yeah, and I haven't watched the episode of Black Mirror since then. So
They ran you off.
they did.
I thought Black Love was beautiful.
I just, I don't know. Just because it was two black guys. Again, if it was two white guys, would I have minded? Probably not. But I just find, and this is just my opinion, that we have another guest.
Uh-oh. Set it
Oh,
off.
Man, this is turning into the place to
not for the person that was just rambling because I didn't think of anything. All right, one
be.
moment. P.
Yeah, why you say uh-oh?
Because no, not a bad a good
Oh
I
my
had
God.
somebody else. I'm sorry. I didn't mean any offense.
Okay, how you doing?
You,
How's everyone
I'm
doing today?
wonderful, and yourself.
Good,
I'm doing
good.
I'm
What's
doing
going on?
good. I'm doing good. Now you see the avatar, so you know I come in peace.
That's Coco. I
Yes, it
was
is.
saying my boy is like a couple of weeks maybe older than Coco.
Really? So
Yeah,
he's like two and change.
yeah. He's a
What
black
breed?
Corso.
Oh,
Oh, you battling him.
He's my
big
big
fella.
baby.
He's a big fella.
How old is he? You
Yeah,
said you said he's a couple right around
two and a
Coco's age.
change.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. That's what's
yeah.
up.
That's my big baby. But what I was saying is that it a lot of times for me it seems like that agenda gets pushed more so with black men. Um, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not
Okay.
wrong at all.
Well, I know the stories you've been telling.
Seriously. Yeah,
I,
I mean,
I
it goes back, and it's funny because when Doc mentioned that, some of the things that are written
Hey,
in
Gates, thanks for stopping in.
some of the things that are written into some of these stories, I think back in the day, at least this is my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
that when we look at some of those what we call black exploitation movies, the writers and producers were usually white people trying to capture what they thought black culture was. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
why there was a marked difference to me between the stuff that was written and produced by some of those guys back in the day, versus when Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby created, because they were creating their characters from an authentic place. You know what I mean?
hmm
As opposed to
Mm-hmm.
creating caricatures of what they thought black life and black families were about. You know what I mean? And one of the and just really quick, just I
Mm-hmm.
I can speak to this because I remember years ago when if you remember Pursuit of Happiness, right?
Yes.
And I had a meeting with the guys that produced just before it was released. I had a meeting with the guys that produced that, right? And one because
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get on as a writer on a separate project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at Pursuit of Happiness, do you remember the scene when just before they separated, when they going through a whole lot of financial problems, and he stepped out on the patio, and the wife I think it was him or the wife that was on the patio, and they were really at a crossroads, and she just came outside and she was kind of like looking up at the stars or something like that. She
Mm-hmm.
really didn't
Yeah.
have anything to say, and the
Mm-hmm.
reason that was because it was a white writer trying to emulate what he thought a black woman would do under those circumstances. What he wound up writing
Mm.
was what a white woman would do under those
Wow.
circumstances. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why there's usually a lot of times there's a disconnect when they try to create, scenes that they
Mm-hmm.
think, this is how a black person or black woman or black man would react, and it's
Right.
usually how a white person would react.
Yeah, and
So
they
that's
get it
one of the
wrong.
different. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
What's up, Pay?
Oh no, I was setting up my audio, so I kind of like missed the portion of what y'all was talking about. So I was just trying to get caught up, kind of. That's all.
We were talking about TV shows, movies, and this last bit was about the black man agenda that I believe gets pushed,
When
and
you
asking for thoughts.
when you say that the black male agenda, what do you mean?
I'm sorry, the black man gay agenda.
Oh, yeah. Um, I don't know. I call it how you look at it, like, okay, what was like the turning point for real,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all I think we're all not. I think we're all old enough to remember the show Will and Grace,
Yes.
and I think in terms of like I don't know how to say this, not to sound like I'm homophobic, but in terms of like say mainstream acceptance to
Mm-hmm.
homosexuality, I think
Yes.
Will and Grace was the turning point. And I've often said that like there is like the reason I think that media and just society is pushing the gay agenda
Mm-hmm.
is simply like all the urban legends that you hear about population control, right?
Right.
This is just my theory. I think that they finally, um, you heard, especially like with the black community, but it's not just a black community thing. Like if you're like read certain things, Georgia Guidestones and all that type shit, they're trying to reduce the population to less to 1 million. But that's another story for another day. But let's just stay with the black community, right? In terms of
Mm-hmm.
population control. Like, so we've heard, and I'm not saying it's true or not, but we've all heard urban legends, like say about spiking the malt liquor and different things they use to reduce the population. But
Mm-hmm.
if you look at homosexuality, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's natural population control. Because if you look at the fact that women outnumber men, right?
Yeah.
And like in terms of like humans, we have a sexual appetite. So you can't, stop us from wanting to have, relations. But if you alter who we have relations with, that's
Mm-hmm.
natural population control because you're not reproducing. You see what I'm saying? Like it don't take. So if you take the population of, say, like young lesbian women that aren't dealing with men, period, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you take a male population, a black male population is already uh, like when you look at when you look at the pool, okay, when you subtract uh men that are in the penal system,
Mm-hmm.
then you're left with that amount, right? And then if a certain percentage of those men are gay and not engaging in intercourse with women, and you have a percentage of women that aren't having intercourse with men, that's natural population control. And
So you don't. I'm sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead. You want to ask a question?
So you don't think Hollywood pushes the black same sex partners or black gay men as a way of making black men look weak and taking them out of being like the head of household?
Um, yes, and I think that's all part of the larger picture that I was just referencing. You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
you have to, because you had like in order for what I said to happen, you had to have things in place to do that. And I think that's one like normalizing homosexuality like among like black men is one way of doing that. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You know,
And
and
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with
I'm not,
it.
and I was
I'm not
thank you, thank you, thank
right.
you.
We're
Just
not saying there's anything wrong with it. We're just
right, but it's just
discussing if there is a
how it's
gender.
being right,
Yeah.
how it's being used. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So, but like I said, that's just my off the wall theory about why that agenda is not just being pushed in the black community, but in communities, period. But especially in the black community. But I mean,
Okay.
that's all I got.
Miss
Any
Murph,
other?
yeah,
Yes.
on that, I used to think about that a lot, like why is this happening now? And
Mhm.
to me, it's more surrounds marketing and business. For
Okay.
instance, like I watch a lot of old 70s, 60s sitcoms, right? And
Mhm.
I was watching an old sitcom like Goomer Power. I'm like, man, look at this thing. It's like Andy Griffith. I'm like, there's no black people.
Mhm.
Around season 2, you see a black person in the background, right? They
Right.
don't talk. They're
Mhm.
not going to talk. It's 1966.
Yeah.
1967, the black person gets to say one word, and the thing. And
Mhm.
as time goes on,
The
we
progression.
talking about civil rights, the Black History movements in full swing. Guess what?
Mhm.
Hollywood does. They say, hey, we can make money off of this. We can. If there's a group of people we can appeal to, we can make money. So then all of a
Mhm.
sudden, these black characters come to life. Now all of a sudden, every time they're there, they got to be doing shucking and jive handshakes. They got to be talking in the black
Mhm.
vernacular, and so on. So that's what made money. Then brought forth the whole black exploitation era, which is what we were talking about. Um,
Yes.
in the 90s, remember the Latin explosion kicked off, the J-Lo, all of this. All of a sudden, everybody's, doing this music. Same thing with the dance hall kicked in for a while. That was rolling late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
They were on that train, you know what I mean? And it seems like it's more so trends. So now, once this woke culture came about, all of a sudden it's like, well, all right, well, we gotta use the gay thing. So to me, it looks more like they're using it as props. I spoke about this before, how
Okay.
Tyler Perry, I find it downright insultive the way he uses it, right? Because when he pictures gay people,
Wait
Tyler,
a minute, wait a minute. Who? Oh, Tyler. Okay, I didn't hear what you
Tyler
said.
Tyler
Go
Perry.
ahead.
Perry, yeah,
Mhm.
it's always like it's never a gay person. Like there isn't the gay lawyer or the gay parking meter person. It's always like they got to be in a sexual scene. It's like they got to be kissing,
Mhm.
they got to be humping, and I mean he takes it to the extreme. And I'm looking at this like, damn, y'all gay people not offended? Like same thing with black people, how we would get offended because why every time we were in a scene in the 70s, it's always shucking and jiving, it's always slang talk. Like there
Up in
ain't
the
no
eyes.
black, yeah, no
Mhm.
black doctors, no black lawyers, nowhere. You
Let
understand?
me
Now, oh, that last point. I'm done. So now, right? You look at same thing. I don't want to keep clicking on Tyler Perry. Tyler, call me. I got my tape at your office. Anyway, so Tyler, so now it's like, well, now he's satisfied because now everybody on all his shows, all black lawyers, they all black professionals, black bank managers, black everything. But then it's like
Mhm.
every scene is sex hump, threats. It's like ratchet activity. You know what I'm saying? So it just looks like it's just more like exploitive across the board. Whichever group is up next, that's what we going for. You know what I mean? End statement.
Okay.
let me piggyback off that and ask a question to the panel because that was something I was going to say during my little rant, but um, since y'all were talking about this, the black exploitation movies of the '70s, right? And when you think about what they were just um, very exaggerated, almost satire of black life and all that type stuff, right? So
Mhm.
if you look at a lot of Tyler Perry movies, I could say the same thing. So could could it be said that he's the modern day black exploitationist in a lot of his movies? Because a lot of his movies
Hmm.
are exaggerated, like the black characters are very exaggerated. You know what I mean?
I've only
Like
seen one Tyler Perry movie.
like the black villains. Oh, you hate
Okay.
these motherfuckers. Like in terms of like the racial relationship type, like everybody is a exaggeration of the character that they're playing. So I was like, could it be said, could it be said that Tyler Perry like uh followed that same uh program, but just you know, made it a little bit more subtle, and we ain't gonna catch it because it's a brother doing it. Like what? So what y'all thoughts on that?
I
I
think
Any
that's
thoughts?
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, you Tay.
no, I think P is spot on with that in a lot of ways, because you got to think when he first came out with when started with the plays and everything, he
Mm-hmm.
had a
Mm-hmm.
specific target audience. He wanted to appeal to the church, and specifically the women in the church, and
Yep.
Yes.
then what he looked at as other, I guess, the primary constituency of the church. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so by creating characters that they could either identify with or laugh at, you know what I mean, see in a humorous light, then I believe that's what gained him his initial audience. And I mean, he obviously he was smart about it, because he went from the live plays to the
Mm-hmm.
live plays accompanied by the DVD, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and then moved over into lower budget movies, and he built his fan base with the
Mm-hmm.
lower budget movies. I don't think he's really even doing like major hot, blockbuster level budgets still to this day. So he definitely stays within his formula, but it's proven to be successful. And then once he created a lane for himself with movies and moved over into television, which, the income for television production is, probably even exponentially higher than movies themselves. You know what I mean? Once you get, series and everything that goes along with that, and you can have those on multiple networks, and ultimately, obviously, partnering with Oprah's network and all those sorts of things. So he's
Yeah, because
just
he has a
built.
few TV shows.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. You know what I mean? So he's got income coming from
Yeah.
everywhere, and he in terms of his agenda, I believe it's largely along those same lines. But even going deeper than that, um, I think it goes back even further, because someone mentioned Will and Grace. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a book, and I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard of this book. Um, there's a book called After the Ball. After the Ball was written by two Harvard graduates, Marshall Kirk and I can't Hunter Madsen and Marshall Kirk. Right?
Okay.
When people talk about the quote unquote agenda, that
Mm-hmm.
book is the agenda. That
Yeah.
book literally is the agenda, and
What's
it
it called
Okay.
talks.
again?
It's called After the Ball. It was written,
Okay.
I think, in either the late '80s or early '90s. Right?
Okay.
That
Okay.
book outlines the the literal blueprint of how they were going to create acceptance for themselves, and
Okay.
a lot of it was largely modeled after how um, the how you want to refer to them, because I don't want to get you in any kind of trouble. The small hats, as some people refer
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
created. They painted themselves as victims in a sense, and they
Mm-hmm.
created an atmosphere where any pushback toward against
Mm-hmm.
anything was seen as hate. You know,
They're the
and
only group of people that you cannot criticize or
yeah,
tell jokes about.
the parallels when you look at the atmosphere that's been created over the years, the parallels between them and the small hats is amazing. How
Mm.
any pushback, any uh, criticism is automatically viewed as hatred. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but it talked about how they would create acceptance, and when you go all the way back, part of it was just creating characters that people could see as non-threatening, um,
Mm-hmm.
and could identify with and laugh at. And I think that was one of the major reasons why those early characters, when they began showing up on television, they were primarily in sitcoms. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
really push them in sexual situations. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they just jumped on NBC and you saw two of them kissing or
Mm-hmm.
in some sort of sex. It was generally something that
They were the
people
funny friend.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, that book is crazy because I bought that book probably back in maybe 2010, something like
Mm-hmm.
that. I got it on might have been Amazon or whatever for like $15. That book now, if you try to buy that book now, I've seen it quoted anywhere from like $300 to
Wow.
$1,100. If you Google it right now and try to buy it, you're going to be paying at least $300 for it.
Mm.
And I think it's largely because, again, they don't want that specific information in the hands of but so many people, because that book
Mm-hmm.
really makes it clear that none of what you see that's happened over the last 20 to 30 years is by accident. It is
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
all
definitely.
by design, all of
Yeah,
it.
Uh,
Hey,
I believe
oh,
it.
let me
It's
just
called After the Ball, YM.
let me just correct
Go
you.
ahead, brother.
I went on Amazon and the paperback is $865,
Yeah,
Two.
God
yeah.
damn.
and
Ooh.
it's only one left in stock.
They don't
God
want just
Oh
damn.
anybody
wow.
getting hold of that book.
I'm
You
about to
keep
get
it
my
up.
cousin to get a copy.
Oh.
I'm about to get my cousin to get a copy for him. He might have a hookup. Well, my cousin, well, my cousin, and hey, let me ask the dudes up here a question, right? See if it's just me, right? Like y'all say, they be slipping that shit in so like smooth now, like in like TV and all that type stuff that like a lot of times, like now you can't tell who the gay dudes are a lot of times, and they'll like they'll slip some stuff in where they're like, all right, man, I see you later. Them niggas just start kissing. Like it. Tell me, is it just me? Like do
Out of
you
nowhere.
Well,
when like when y'all like watching something and it's just like out of nowhere, like two men start kissing. Do y'all be doing like I be doing? Do y'all be shielding your eyes like, oh hey, damn, ooh,
nah,
It's
I,
yeah,
I,
it's
I'm saying
until
I'll
the
be
scene is over?
nah, I'll
Go
be
ahead.
honest. It doesn't bother me in that way, and I don't know. Like
Hey, Pills. Thanks for
I think
stopping in.
part of part of the disconnect to some extent is the fact that when like you guys talk, when you first get introduced to these characters, they may be not a character, they may be a caricature of that particular
mhm.
lifestyle. So
Mm-hmm.
Man,
if you were to watch um uh if they showed you a loving relationship and didn't show kissing and didn't show sex, would it be as offensive to some people? Because I think people um they get offended when you kind of like like your rights in at the tip of my nose type of thing. Like you feel like
Mm-hmm.
you shoving it in my face, and if
Yeah.
yeah,
somebody doesn't want to see it, people start to get offended. It doesn't bother me because I'm not necessarily like I don't look at anybody. I know enough people, and I've been around enough people to know like you're standing next to somebody.
man, they don't be giving you no warning. Some like you
but
wouldn't even know. It'd be like a one of them dramas, about like some firemen or some shit. You gonna have the season like they close. They like this my partner, but like they in the 3 alarm fire, structural fire, and it's like they might not get out. Like damn, Jim, we might not make it. Like and them niggas start kissing and shit. Like what? Hold, I wasn't. You know what I mean? That's how they doing it now. Like they don't. Ain't no like you don't know when that shit coming, so I can like brace for it. Like okay, at least I know. You know what I mean? When to look, but I know I'm being silly. But for real though, it's like you don't be
That
knowing
I've
like
come
two.
to expect it in just about everything. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So I expect it. But
Man,
I'll also
unless
say for me, I don't need to see anybody in a movie or on TV having sex.
now looking at it from a viewer's perspective, right? If it
Mm-hmm.
fits in with the plot, like for instance, funny thing about the fireman,
Hey,
Orange is the New
Auntie.
Black, right? Orange
my
Mm-hmm.
is the
bad,
New
my
Black.
bad, fireman.
Laverne Cox, Laverne Cox's character, right? So I'm sitting there like,
Yes.
how did this person? You know how they showed you how everybody got in jail, and
Right.
then all of a sudden you see Laverne when when she was actually it was her twin brother that played the part, which is cool because guess what? He didn't need no makeup because he was in man mode, right?
Right.
So here it is. So
Mm-hmm.
they're twins, but I'm just saying for context. So anyway,
Yeah.
they show this fire. It's funny you mentioned fire. And so Laverne Cox's character before jail goes into the burning building. Next thing you know, it's like he's grabbing some credit cards. Next thing you know, he's putting on the lady's stockings. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that was relevant to make you understand, hey,
Hmm.
how did this guy get from here to where he is
Right.
now? So in that
Right.
context, it made sense. What P is saying is like you just slap something in, and it's not even relevant to the scene.
Exactly. Yeah.
The scene
Hmm.
to the
Just
women
throwing it in
out here.
there.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like okay, well, pandering, to the group.
Just let you know these motherfuckers gay. You know what I mean? Like it ain't necessary. Like if it's like a trauma situation, you a doctor and a nurse, like it's a plane crash. Uh, well, no, they be dealing with contagions and shit like that. It's some trauma situation. Like all right, man, I see you. Like, oh, come on, bro, y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all can just dap it up. It's an emergency. You know what I mean? Like we ain't got
Mm-hmm.
to know y'all gay right here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I know I'm sounding like
Gratuitous.
but it's like gratuitous. It's like Bombay and brother of a certain age was saying if it's in the context of story,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you
But
know what I mean?
I think that
Go ahead.
that's kind of like, I mean, that's a normal thing. And like if you watch an action movie, right? It could be like a
Arnold
say some.
Schwarzenegger ain't kissing no bro. He
No,
ain't. He ain't.
I'm not talking about kissing a man. I'm saying a, a kiss.
I ain't never seen Clint Eastwood kiss. I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead, bro.
Not, no, I'm saying like a
Different
kiss in
time.
general, like in the middle of explosions, in the middle of a war zone, at the end of Commando, right? Arnold grabs the girl and kisses her, and then they walk off.
Oh yeah, what?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, so it's not like throwing gratuitous or corny because it's cheesy. Throwing cheesy stuff in
Yeah.
movies is a very 80s thing anyway. During
Yeah.
the 80s, everybody got the girl. Bruce Willis got the girl at the end. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. They were protecting this woman, or they started off going there to kill him, and then fell in
Of
love with it.
course,
You know what I'm saying? So it's
of course.
always
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I just think like your sensibilities might be offended to certain things that you don't want to see. I don't care to see that. And I think some of it is that I'm not saying all of it is some of it is that those things are unexpected. And it, as Ms.
So,
Murph said, if you grow to just say these are two people and I'm not assuming anything about them, because a lot of it has to do with their physical stature, right? If you see
Right.
a big, strong looking guy, and or if you have, remember I was talking about the caricatures, one of the ones that I could point to was the guy from Low Down Dirty Shame.
Mm-hmm.
That
okay,
guy,
Mm-hmm.
that gay guy was like what growing up. That's what in our that's what gay looked like. It didn't look like,
That because that's how they portrayed them
yeah,
back
it didn't
then.
look like
Mm-hmm.
my dad and my uncles who were just
Right.
kind of hanging out, drinking beer, whatever. That was men, and this was
What
them,
they call it? Flamboyant.
right?
Yeah,
And so I think
they
a
are
lot of it,
scared.
I think
Them
a lot of it
70
now
days, boy.
it's not it's not necessarily. It went from flamboyant to regular looking. Now you got a combination of it where it's over the top and they're quote unquote manly men, and it's over the top at the same time. So it might be a little bit too much for people to handle.
Yeah, it's
But
too
it,
much.
but in reality, you know,
It is that in
and,
reality.
yeah,
It is
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Yeah. So
But
at least they're portraying it more like you would go on in real life, as they say.
Yeah.
you
But
know,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Doc.
no, there's the stigma in Hollywood with black actors has always been they can't wait to put you in a dress.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Chappelle, other comedians have talked about it. There are some that say they didn't become as famous as they could have been because they didn't play the role
Mm-hmm.
that Hollywood wanted them to play. I just watched a miniseries based on the life of John Brown called The Good Lord Bird. And John Brown was kind of like an abolitionist, but psycho, going around
Mm-hmm.
killing people, talking about he freeing black people and all of this and that, right? Now, in
Mm-hmm.
the movie, I ain't gonna give it away because it's a good miniseries, but I'm just saying in the movie, the co-star's father gets killed, and John Brown mistakenly calls him a girl, and then for the whole movie he has on this dress in the movie. So he's going to plantations. They're like, "Yo, what's wrong with you? Why you look like a sissy? Why you dressed like that?" And apparently John Brown cannot tell, or he's oblivious to the fact that this is a young man, and he even defends him in one scene. "I'll kill you talking to my daughter like that," right? But the point is that looking at it historically, that character did not exist in real life. So John existed, Frederick Douglass existed, and they got Frederick Douglass looking crazy in this one. He's like got one woman on upstairs, another woman on the second floor. They got I can't believe Umar ain't said something yet, because Fred is in this one.
And what's this one called?
The Good Lord Bird.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's good though. So the funny thing is that the character of the young man in the dress, because at the end of the show, when we all know, if you look up John Brown, you know how he ended up. He says, the best thing is I could finally take off that dress. And I'm like, that character never existed. There was never a black boy in a dress historically, but they put it in the film. And I'm like, he could have been a young man and it still would have worked. Why?
Right.
So he's starting out his young acting career. They're like, look, they're not even waiting to get you in the dress when they finally put that $10 million, $15 million movie in front of you and say, now we need you. Oh, they starting you out. Oh, where you from? Oh, you went to what? You went to USC acting? Okay, yeah. Well, we got a dress scene starting out. Yeah. Your first role, So anyway, I just found that interesting.
Well, Unadulterated has talked about, some of them parties.
It does. It happens. And the reason I can tell you that the reason it seems so random and gratuitous is because in a lot of cases it is. I have literally turned in screenplays, been in meetings where someone will say, "Can you make this character gay? Or can you add this scene?" And you're wondering like, well, why? What, the character's already written. The plot line for this character is already drawn out over the course of however many episodes, or at least the first season of the TV show or whatever. Why does this character need to be gay? And they can't really articulate any reason other than we want a gay character in there.
That's what they want.
A scene in there that reflects something homosexual. And the thing about it is, when you're writing a screenplay, right? Especially like a theatrical release screenplay as opposed to a teleplay, it's three acts. So typically, what has to be in the first act, like from page 1 to maybe 35, what's going to be in the second act, and then what's going to be in the third act. You have your, at least the way that I write, I lay everything out in a treatment and then format everything based on that. So for someone to tell you just drop a random gay scene or situation, or it doesn't have to be gay, just something funny that if it's a comedy, just something that came in their mind, and they just want you to fit it in there somewhere, right? If it doesn't go with everything that you've written to build up to that point and everything that happens afterwards, it looks awkward because you're like, wait a minute, what does this have to do with everything that's been built up to this point? And it just, you to just drop something in on page 42 because the producer wants it there, or you know what I mean? That's why these scenes seem like they come out of nowhere, because they really, in a lot of instances, they really do coming out of nowhere. Yep.
Interesting.
But like I said, sometimes that can be the difference between getting a green light and waiting for a callback for the next 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So writing the scenes and then also playing the characters could be make or break decisions for folks.
Oh yeah, yep. If you're willing to play ball, you know, then there's no shortage of people that are willing to play ball with you. And if you're not, then get to the back of the line and start over again, And so that's usually how that happens.
So as a writer, how would you suggest or like you write a quote unquote gay character? Like, why would that be a thing that you would have to like pronounce as opposed to just making the characters like it's for you when you if you're
I'll say this. I think
You're muted.
I can't hear you if you're talking. Is it just
You're
me?
muted, you say.
Can't hear you.
Still can't hear you.
Oh, he's freezing now too.
Uh-oh.
Still can't hear you.
He's checking it out.
Closed caption.
Okay, let me translate. Go ahead. I'm a liberator. I'm gonna translate.
Don't do it, Pete. Hurry up, get your mic. Don't let Pete.
He said,
You want to drop and come back?
He said, the motherfuckers be trying to get me right, gay motherfuckers in the screenplay. And I said, if you want them in there, motherfucker, you write it in. You know what I'm saying?
Still can't hear you.
Motherfucker, I done did my job. It's on y'all.
All right. So the character that I did recall creating one character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I have a TV show that is loosely based. You remember Miss Murph? You remember when Wendy Williams first came to Power 99, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I have a TV show that's loosely based on life behind the scenes at an urban radio station.
Okay.
And it's based on, because I told you I grew up with D. Lee.
Yeah.
So it's loosely kind of based on some stuff that he and I had talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took one of the characters and I decided just because I knew that it would probably make it more saleable at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to create a gay character based on that. And I did it because it added a different sense of comedy to the cast of characters. Everyone from the program manager to the slow jams DJ to everyone that worked at the radio station had their own story and plot line, because it was more about what was going on in their personal lives as opposed to everything that happened at the station. And I just decided to take one of the characters because I knew it would create a different dynamic at that time. But in terms of taking something that you've already invested the time to create an entire storyline to and revamping it, I've never done that. I've been asked to on several occasions, but because of the fact that the story was developed in the way that it was, I didn't want to revamp it and recreate a character that was already finished and revamp all the dialogue and every scene to make, you know what I mean, to fit a character because of an executive's whim. I just didn't feel like it was necessary. And of those, it would have been difficult. It was difficult trying to get some of those things done. Some of them, some were worked out, and others just kind of fell by the wayside. Just one of those things. But when they tell you that, if you think about, do you remember the interview? Was it? I'm trying to think. Who was it that said that? Oh, it was Dave. It was Dave Chappelle that said that he came back to his dressing room and they had a dress waiting for him.
Yeah.
Think about that. The screenplay had been long written. It had been long green lit. They were on set, and somebody went to run one of the writers and said, "Hey, write this real quick, but make the character gay." That's how quickly it can happen. That was not in the screenwriter's mind originally. It was probably just somebody on the set with some pull that just decided, "Hey, let's see if he goes for this," and obviously didn't, but I can guarantee you they felt some kind of way about him for refusing it. So
now, as a writer, because I think a lot of time, from what I observe from people when they talk about, in particular writers, when they talk about what producers and the people over the top do some of their scripts. You know,
Hmm.
when they come in, you have a vision for your script. Like you said, you
Yep.
have your 3 acts, you have a vision for it. As a
Hmm.
writer, so if you get so what is it like if you get the contract to write it, and then once you're there, as far as is it a matter of you negotiating creative control over or is it, hey, I have to just bow out because I'm not willing to change the script that much?
It depends. Depends on where you are as a writer. If you're a new writer, you're writing on what they call writing on spec, meaning that
Mm-hmm.
you're writing in speculation that you're going to be able to sell this screenplay somewhere down the line. So you have total autonomy at that point. You're writing what you want to write. Now, if you go to a studio and they like it, or a production company and they like it,
Mm-hmm.
and they either option it from you, meaning that, hey, we're going to give you X amount of dollars and we're going to try to develop this idea over the course of the next year or 2 years or whatever the terms of the options are. um, they may ask you to change certain things while the option is in effect. So
Mm-hmm.
if and that's all in the contract. So say for the next year, they're going to try to put together. They're going to first ask you to rewrite some things, that you give you some
Mm-hmm.
ideas about what they would like to see happen, which typically is not very, very far off from the current
Mm-hmm.
state of the script. So they may say, "Hey, can you change this? Can you add that?" And if you agree to that contract, then you're either going to make those changes that they request, or they're going to bring somebody else in to make those changes, because financially they own it or they've optioned it from you at that point. Or if they
Right.
buy it outright, that's another one. It's out of your hands at that point. So you can either take the extra money to do the rewrite,
Mm-hmm.
because typically you'll get a lump sum of money up front, which is all well and good, but you don't own it at that point. So they
Mhm.
can offer you more money for you to do the rewrite, or they have staff writers, or either they work with agencies that have writers.
Mm-hmm.
So you know um, you can either make the changes yourself, or they'll bring someone else in to make the changes for you, for them, because
Yeah,
they own it.
I remember in a previous conversation we were having, you mentioned about them bringing a writer in that had never written anything. Yeah.
Never written anything. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because he was friends with one of the executive. He was an aspiring writer, had never
Mm-hmm.
written anything, but he was friends with the executive producer. And they
Mhm.
was like, "Hey, we want you to work with this guy." And because I had already signed the contract, I had to work
Mm-hmm.
with him. He just, and it was like one of the most harrowing, partnerships. It's like, I mean, think about, Doc, if you were making a beat for something, and you were making a beat for a record label, and they made you partner with somebody that's never made a beat before. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And it doesn't make any sense, and you're carrying, they're giving you random suggestions on stuff that damn well they don't know what they're talking about, you know, and but because of the contractual dynamics, you gotta at least play along, So
Yeah, so they'll
Yeah,
be like, "What does this button do, Doc?"
the equivalent of that would be, which I never take those gigs. Me doing like they'll tell me do something for a video game, and
mhm.
I got to do a urban black, and first thing I notice is like it's curse words every other sentence.
Yep.
So you lay
Mm-hmm.
it down, right, and then they could take my voice and just convert it to AI, somebody younger or
Mm.
whatever they want, even a white person, and put it in the game. Doesn't matter. You already got paid for the session. You get paid for the usage, which includes them taking the property and reworking it. My question to you is, UT, well, when Norman Lear, come on, when he
Mhm.
came up with the idea, well, I'm sorry, Eric Monty came with the idea for Good Time,
Yeah.
and how Esther Rose said she wouldn't do the show unless she had a husband, right? And
Mhm.
then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, they got into the show. Nowadays, you hear how they were back and forth with the
Yeah.
white writer saying we wouldn't say it like that. A lot of the stuff they would ad
Exactly.
lib,
Yeah.
rewrite on the spot, and such. And then eventually it became the JJ show, which is with all the bucking of the
Mm-hmm.
eyes and the dynamite every 10
Yeah.
seconds,
Mm-hmm.
which they didn't like because they were too close to the whole Step It and Fetch It, the whole
Stereotype.
minstrel
Yeah.
show era. Um, and then of course, last reference, Family Matters becoming the Urkel show, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is,
Right.
we went from a family centered black show, well balanced husband and wife, to the nerdy kid next door who I
He
was
was the new
neglected by his
JJ.
parents because they didn't exist. So
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, I guess my question is, do the actors, like, I guess you would have to be on a level of a Will Smith, do they have any say, or do they just get the script and they're like, okay, I either accept the script or I don't? Can they
Either
put their
it
input?
depends on who the actor is. It depends on
I
who
would.
the actor is and how much pull. See, because if you're an established actor and the show is built around you, typically you'll also be credited as an executive producer as well. So if you think about, like, you know, Martin's
Okay.
show, Jamie Foxx's show, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Those guys had a lot of say so in terms of what the final script, how the final script came out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Because
Involved the writing, um, the writing team, assembling the writing team as well. You know what I mean? Because typically what happens is you'll have someone bring an idea to the table and they'll flush out what the episode is going to be about. Then the writing team will expound on that and they'll create at least a passable draft that'll go to the executives. And once the executives approve it, then that's what the cast gets. So generally speaking, if the main actor is an executive producer, he's going to have some sort of say so in terms of
mhm.
what the final script looks like. You know.
And to take it a
Okay.
little bit and to take it a little bit further, like with production, you have like I break it down into three phases or three different lenses. You have the screenplay writers or the writers in general. That's one vision, right? So it's passed on to the director who actually brings that vision to life. So you have his vision of what's written, right? And then at the end of the day, the final product that you see, whether it's on TV or motion picture, is through the eye of the editor, the final editor who edits the movie together. So a lot of times you will have, uh, to further on what UT was saying, like actors who say like a Clint Eastwood, right? He's an actor and a director, and I'm sure he's an editor also. So when you have actors who know all three phases, they have a lot more. They can have a lot more input into like their characters and the overall script, like what UT was saying.
Yeah,
Does the director work with
generally
the editor?
the editing.
That's go ahead because I
No, I
gotta.
was going to say that the editing piece usually in an editing session, it's usually going to be the director, maybe an executive producer. That
Hmm.
they don't leave it up to the editor to determine
Okay.
what it looks like. You know what I mean? What
Okay.
final?
Okay.
He's basically just following directions.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Thank you for the
Yeah.
correction on that.
So
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's
Okay.
see, otherwise, if they left the creative direction up to the editor would be in the his credits would be up there with the executive producer
Got
Right.
you.
and the directors. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So you have what's called above the line talent, which is the executive producers, director, actors, etc. And then you have what's called below the line talent, which is, when you see the key grip and the gaffers,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
sound
Right.
engineers. Those
Hmm.
those guys are, I guess obviously you have some who are more in demand than others, but those sorts of um, skill sets can be interchangeable. It's a lot of people in the industry, you know what I mean, that's what they do, you know. but they don't really. I can't really think of an instance. Obviously, there are some that work better and they work as teams. So you'll have someone who's a director who brings in someone he's worked on another project with. That he's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this editor understands me, and we work well together. So this guy may be in more demand than someone else. You know what I mean? But they don't. I can't really think of an instance where they leave the vision of what makes
Okay.
it to the movie screen or to the television screen, where they leave that up to the editor. I just don't.
Oh, sure. Well, thank you for that. I've been passing
Yeah.
out misinformation for years. Uh, good looking.
Yeah,
So
they're like another. They're basically giving directions in terms of how to. Obviously, there's a skill to that for sure. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but and effects and that sort of thing, cinematography, those sorts of things are certainly skills. But in terms of creativity, that's they don't really get a final say
Yeah.
in terms of making it their vision.
hey, to the panel, right? We were
Yes.
talking about earlier, as far as the image of black people. I know in the 70s and late
Mm-hmm.
60s, it seemed like the shows like Amos and Andy and things like that, black people were very, at that time, it was a critical point in history about how they were perceived, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, uh, in like, for instance, hip hop music, it became basically a death, murder, kill culture. And now it seems like I'm hearing some of the babblings about it's it's poisoning the kids or it's influencing the kids, as though do you all believe um that the music is being put out as having an influence, like as far as if you let your child listen to this, suddenly they don't want to go to college anymore? Do you think it has that much of an influence on people, or are we still more so concerned with the images being projected?
I'll
Um,
say that I don't think it has as much influence on the young folks these days as social media. But back before social media, I think there was an influence on the folks because of course, folks going around singing it, everybody wants to live this life that's being portrayed by in the music. Hold on, go ahead. I have a phone call. I'm a mute.
well, you know what? I'm gonna say yes because if you look at it, the uh, the person that you're probably talking about is second, third generation. You see what I'm saying? Like meaning that by this point, okay, has anybody ever heard of a program called Operation Sedgwick? Anybody ever heard of that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, allegedly, it was supposed to be a program associated with Project MK Ultra, right? In which right around 19, it was during the Reagan administration that the program was formed, but it's basically where they decided they were going to use hip hop or like rap music at that time as a way to, influence or whatever the black community, right? So you go along with Bombay was saying, like, okay, so if you go with that, or if you say like there was a turning point in terms of like when hip hop started really affecting the black community in a negative way, because if you remember in the '90s, that was the birth of gangster rap and all that type shit. You see what I'm saying? So it went from not being accepted when it was like the pure form of music when it was still hip hop to us to being accepted mainstream when it was like being, when it was the worst type of rap at the time. So we go from then to now, right? To that person to that youngster that Bombay is talking about. Well, not only is that child being influenced, but they mother been or their parents was influenced, and probably their grandparents by this time has been influenced. So you got three generations of just just listening to nothing. You see what I'm saying? So they probably ain't gonna go to college. I'm just saying they probably ain't gonna go to college because their parents probably didn't go to college, and their grandparents didn't go to college. So I don't know if I'm agreeing with you, but I think it at this point, like the music does affect because they're trying to mimic, the characters and
I'm back.
they're trying to emulate like the rappers, the lifestyles, and just what they're hearing on music, like they've always done. Is just what the music is now.
Yeah,
But
I believe it's influential as well. Even if you look back through, um, and especially now that it's so visual, from the implementation and the use of music videos. If you look at even the fashion trends from like the late 80s through the 90s, 2000s, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the fashion trends followed suit with what was reflected in the music
The
video
videos, yeah.
from those times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From the times when, you know, everyone, like if you look back to the late 80s and early 90s when the Spike Lee movies and,
yeah,
there's certain conscious rap and conscious, I guess, neo
Mm-hmm.
soul music, etc. Um, through
You're
through the
welcome, brother.
90s, and
hey
you
brother of a
know
certain age, thank you for having the
those
conversation.
images, how the visuals in those videos made their way into mainstream um, style.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most people, and obviously growing up in Philly, I knew people that went to Spelman and Morehouse and schools in the South, etc. But those were never fashion statements to wear gear from those universities. People who had never set foot on a college campus was wearing, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Was trying
Mm-hmm.
to look like college students. You know what I mean? And and as time went on, even if you look at the I guess what's called the drill culture now, you know,
Mm-hmm.
became fashionable, I guess, in a sense, in like the early 2010s. It was really hardly anybody with the dreads and the way the
Hmm.
Chicago rappers were looking. Nobody was looking like that at that point in time. Now, in a lot of parts of the country, you'll see kids looking like the Chicago kids looked 10 years ago. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's influential, and especially when they take one person, whether that was Chief Keef or somebody like that, and they make this one, they create the image of this one person as being successful, as being the blueprint toward success. You know what I mean? And people start emulating, because I mean, how dumb is that for, especially with drill culture? How dumb is that for somebody to go out and create do a crime or create murder somebody and then go in the studio and rap about it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But kids do it because they saw that they look at this as the blueprint
Hmm.
that worked for this other entire segment
Yeah.
of the quote unquote rap population, and so they're following that in toward what they see as success. So I definitely think it's influential.
I
And I'm. Oh,
And
go
even
ahead.
with those female rappers,
I was going to just
you
say
know,
that.
rap
I was going to just say
was.
that. I was going to just say that.
Mm-hmm.
If I can expound on that real quick, because
Sure.
I was last point I was going to make before I drop down is that like I was going to just make that example like with female rappers, like we're all old enough to remember like the pioneers of rap, period, let alone like the women, and
Mm-hmm.
not only it was a handful of women, right, but
Mm-hmm.
they were very talented because they had to be because the bar was set so high with the
They were
male rappers
competing with the men.
at that time. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but you could count them on one hand. Now you fast forward till now, rap is dominated. Oh, I won't say dominated, but a good market share are female rappers. Like, so from the aspect of just having like women, in the rap industry, the number of
Mm-hmm.
female rappers is a good thing, but on paper, because if you look at the reality, like you got more female rappers now than you've ever had, but look at the look at them. That's all I can really say. Like they naked. Let's start there. You know what I mean? Like, for one, they had to be naked.
The
You know what
ones
I
that
mean?
get pushed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's more getting pushed than any time before. But
Mm-hmm.
they got to portray a certain image that, like we all say, society, like art imitates life. So you see it like really negatively manifested, like with, unfortunately, like the young ladies and the young men, like, are like, that's what they look for also. So it's I don't know if that's what you're going to say in terms of women, but that's really what I say is the big difference, is that there weren't a lot of like women rappers back in the day, but they were rappers. And now it's a lot more female rappers, but it's all about quote unquote sex appeal and just, I mean,
Pushing
just
that image.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, but look, man, thank you very much, Miss Murph. Like, these Sunday things you
You're
doing,
welcome, Jay.
this
I'm trying to
conversation.
do my part.
Hey, and you know what? For real, it's always better when it's a woman's voice too. You know what I mean? But in terms of men, a woman can always tame the savage beast. So no, I mean,
Thanks,
for real, like,
Jay.
and you have a very calming nature, and
I
you
do.
know, this is like really for this sector,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm not speaking for anybody other than myself. You know,
Yes.
things like this inspire me to springboard in other directions. You see what I'm
Well, thank
saying?
you, Kay. I
And
appreciate that.
I no, I appreciate you, because, like I said, like, sometimes it's good to just sit back and just hear a woman talk. You know what I mean? You
Even if
got
I'm rambling.
It don't matter. It don't matter with that avatar. You can't see my mouse right now. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
But you might have to tighten up.
RIP.
Yeah, you might have to tighten up on that avatar. You know what I mean? Because it's way too much uh uh upper leg quarter showing. You know what I'm saying? That's that.
Oh boy.
You know what I'm
Thanks
saying?
for coming in, Jay.
That's a whole chicken quarter right there. You know what I'm saying? They go to thigh, and they go to leg. All
Dun,
right, all
dun.
right, all right, all right. I see Bombay up there giving me his Captain Kirk finger, so it's time.
Enjoy your day, P, and stay
I
warm.
definitely will. Hey, I ain't going nowhere. It's a level 3 snow emergency here in
Yeah.
Columbus,
And
Ohio.
give Coco a big hug for me.
Yeah, where is she at? I think she in the living room. Yeah, she. I would definitely do that. Hey, Bombay, UT, man, thank you very much, man. I enjoyed the
All right,
conversation.
P.
Y'all have a good day. Take care.
All
All right.
right. Take care. Ta ta.
I never answered my own question.
I was going to
Um,
ask if you answered it
I,
while I was
I didn't.
muted.
No,
Okay.
I didn't. Funny thing, I almost found myself about to do a Captain Kirk impersonation. No, um, it's funny because actually we had that question come up on a live I did a few years back, and Speakeasy made a good point because I was of the school that it's poison in the minds, but then he hit me to the fact. He said, well, then explain how there are thousands of white kids that listen to hip hop, but yet they still manage to go on in life and do well. And that made me think about it
Hmm.
because, see, I had to get, you know,
Hmm.
in the era I was raised or we were raised, a lot of times, I said we had certain influences from our parents. So if you had parents from civil rights,
Hmm.
everything was the man got his foot on my neck, type of
Yeah.
thing. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, which is actually going to lead to my answer, the parents sometimes, you know, they have, I think, have more influence on the kids than anybody else and any record could do. The problem is that when you
Okay.
don't have that guidance, the parental guidance, there's a vacuum that's
Hmm.
created, and that vacuum gets filled by all sorts of nonsense.
Yes,
You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
So there is, the parents' job is to fill that vacuum. Like when I saw the gang wave come in this direction, from the West Coast, which is funny
Mm-hmm.
because I got peoples out there. The first thing I started doing was educating the boys on gang culture. And of course, everybody's looking at me like, well, why
Mm-hmm.
are you telling them? Why are you teaching them? I said, because it's going to show up. And when they're educated to it, they don't become a victim of it,
Right.
because they know and understand. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm independent. I don't really need that, because everybody in the gang would always say, this is my family. I ain't had no mom. I ain't had no daddy. It's almost like they got a gang script. UT could tell you, you go up to any gang member, because they're not all gang bangers. There's a difference. We ain't gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So you go up to any gang member, they always tell you, and a lot of these kids nowadays will lie. They say, I ain't got no mom and no daddy. My daddy was on crack, all this other crap. But a lot of them, you go home, they living from urban suburbia. They over in the Baldwin Hills somewhere catching the bus to the hood, to staying out there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then what? But then when things pop off, nah, man, that's a whole nother topic. I was gonna talk about white boy from the Hoovers, Milt,
Oh
whatever that
yeah,
boy was,
yeah.
and that murder he drove them to. They did the drive by, and with some powerful lawyers and influence, he
Oh,
walked
you
out of
talking?
there
No, you talking about
unscathed.
the boy from Pacific Palisades? He was with the
Yeah, yeah.
'90s. Yeah.
Yeah, the '90s. Yeah, my bad. Shout out to the Hoovers. But yeah. So he just walked away. But the thing is, right, which proves a point. Now here you have successful parents, but because of
Mm-hmm.
their being busy and successful business people, they're
Mm-hmm.
not there. So that creates a vacuum. And then what happens? You go and you get into trouble. So it's not more so how many parents you got in the home, it's more so the quality of the parents, the presence
Yeah.
Right.
of the parents that you have in the home,
Right.
that can lead that, what I'm saying. And again, he made a good point talking about nowadays you went from female MCs to basically prostitutes with contracts, because that's how it
Mm-hmm.
is, because it's definitely. But you can see now, the first time in 40 years, 50 years of hip hop, there was no number one album on Billboard, in the history of the genre. That right there was a signal
Oh,
to
really?
these record moguls. It was a
Hmm.
signal that, hey, it's okay if you want to exploit something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to say, okay, well, we just need females out here naked and that. Okay, now that's only going to carry you but so far. Or we need dudes just
Yeah.
mumbling to a beat. The beat is what they're going to. We need the beat to be tight, and they're going to mumble. Okay, that took you where? To nothing. Now you're not even charting anymore. So they've
Mm.
taken our beloved hip hop and just watered it all the way down. But thank the Lord, there's an underground. There was a reference made to gangster rap. Look, I got to take a jab. Schoolie D made the first gangster rap. Y'all know him. He's from Philly. So 1985 PSK. So I
PSK.
credit Philly with the downfall of hip hop and gangster rap. I'm gonna blame that on Philly. And I'm just joking.
Hilltop
Philly,
Hustlers.
no, Hilltop Hustlers, Jump, Parkside Cutters, PSK. But you know what? You know what's funny, and maybe we can have a show. We sit and talk about that one day. Philly had one of the, and still does have one of the strongest underground hip hop music. Very underrated city. I mean, I still
Mm.
got stuff on wax from Philly artists from the '80s because I used to DJ.
Leave
Oh,
School
And
D
wow.
out of this.
talent, the talent in that city is unmatched hip hop wise. And I used to always sit back and go, how is New York the main thing, and Philly is like, this stuff is off the charts? But hey, that's another topic. But anyway, again, there were a
What's the
lot of
name? Still
female.
trying to get his appeal. Cool C.
Cool
Cool
C.
C. Yep.
I was
Yep.
listening to them the other days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro, you
Yeah.
kill a
You know what's
cop, man.
crazy? I was gonna do. That was one of the things that I actually had reached out to him and some of his people. I was gonna write a script about his life.
I
Oh,
was thinking
yeah.
about
You
that.
know,
I was
I
like,
was gonna
somebody should
write a
do that.
script about his life juxtaposed to Will, because they grew up at the
Mm.
same time, less
Mm-hmm.
than half a mile from each other,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
was contemporaries. At
Two
one
different
point, Cool C
directions.
was more
Mm-hmm.
popular than Will was.
He was.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And look how different
Mm-hmm.
their lives turned out. Yep.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I couldn't do it because when I was in touch with his people, they was like, well, you can't, he's not allowed to tell the real story just yet, because that would
Mm.
mess up his appeals. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they would have to run the script past the lawyers anyway to make
oh
sure
yeah,
it's
yeah, for sure.
for sure.
Yeah, because they
Yep.
usually do that. Like when Monster Cody wrote his book, it had to go through the lawyers left
Mm-hmm.
and right. Of course, Pretty Boy, rest in peace, Pretty Boy from the 60s, say, man, he messed me at page 75, 74. He got me locked up. It's like, nah,
Yeah, yeah,
when you make a general reference about you jumped off the bus and sloss and you shot at some people, he's not incriminating you. They've been through the pages, you know. But I get what he's saying. So you got to
yeah.
watch out with these books and scripts. You might mess around and
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of
Exactly.
these
Yeah.
a lot of dumb rappers do that. They rap and then they confess in the rap. They end up in
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah,
point. Yep. You know, but
yeah,
yes, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know,
yeah.
but
That was
like you
that
said,
other
Doc, a
dude,
lot of
Eddie
times
B.
the parents, the difference is the parents, or can be the parents,
Yeah.
because you know, like you talked about the boy, I can't, what's his name, Ghost or something, the white boy from '90s,
Yeah,
Miss Murph, this white guy, white kid, high
Mm-hmm.
school kid, right, was
Mm-hmm.
fascinated with gang culture. Now he lived in the Pacific Palisades in a $3 million home, but he was
Mm-hmm.
driving down Crenshaw, about a couple of, you know, a few miles down Crenshaw, to hang
Mm-hmm.
out with the kids in South Central, and wound up
Okay.
getting jumped into the gang. Drove a Mercedes to a
Mm.
drive-by, drove them
Mm.
to kill somebody in a Mercedes, but his
Mm.
parents wound up getting him out of it, while the rest of them wound up getting life sentences.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
so that's the
and
difference between having parents that can pull some strings, and you know, and having parents that's, you know, you know,
Hanging on by a string.
rag, and your pop is big C rag, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, and you got that sort of influence, you know.
yeah,
So
his parents, they lost, like they had to move. His father lost all the contracts. People didn't. He basically took a serious major hit. I don't know, man. I'd have been like, boy, you need to go. But what's funny is it's crazy. He had to tattoo the W, you know, for
mhm.
whatever team. For what team is that? You know, they had that gang. That, you know,
Washington, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Washington,
they had the
yeah,
hat. He talking about, oh, that's my favorite team. Boy, that's a gang sign, and y'all got the
yeah,
hats on. But you know, a
Mm.
lot
uh-huh,
of people don't know
Wow.
that certain gangs in LA, they got certain hats they wear. Like Rolling 60s wear Seattle Mariners hats. You know, it's certain hats you don't wear in that city.
in certain
You
areas,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like I wear this black LA one, I'll never wear the blue. I was at a car show, I had the blue one time. They was like, they literally put me out the car show. Like,
Mm.
mhm,
yo, you gotta take that off. Then I get back in there, you know, skull cap on. I see some Mexican dudes walking around with, they got the blue LA. I'm just saying, man, what are we
yeah,
doing?
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can't wear Cortez Nikes. You know, them essays that be all on you. It's crazy
mhm,
how it. Yeah, I
yeah.
personally couldn't.
It's a
It's bad
whole
enough.
lot to get used to.
Yeah,
It's a whole
it's
lot to,
crazy.
you know, to navigate. You know,
Now
because,
it's a little more relaxed. You know, it's a
yeah,
little more
yeah.
relaxed.
That's what I
But
hear.
you said what?
I said that's what I hear.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's you know, but you still, you know, LA is one place where, as a black, I'll say this, as a black man,
Mm-hmm.
you literally have to think about where you have to go that way that day, and that's going to
Mm.
determine what you're able to wear. Or, you know what I mean? Especially if you're wearing baseball caps to some
Yeah.
degree, because you know, I mean, I when I was in West LA, but we had business in Compton. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we had a dance studio on Compton Boulevard, and then in the Career Link Center on Bullis Road. And you know, you literally have to know, like our first office was in a Crip neighborhood,
Mm.
and the next office, when they gave us office space in the Career Link Center, was in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of a huge blood neighborhood. And then we used to be in Gonzales Park, and which is all bloods as well. You know, so you have to
Mm.
be conscious, whether you're involved or not. You need to understand where you're going to be and who's there. You know, so yes, it's definitely something to understand how to navigate. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know,
Now and
what
then the street codes change over times too. Like back in the days, like when I was out there, like in the '90s, early '90s or whatever, it's civilians are off limits. Non-affiliates, women, children, elders. A lot of things have changed, over the years, where it's like it's anybody, as they say, anybody killers. It's like, yo, if you was with your baby mama, it's like, all right, well, he with his baby mom, they give you a pass. Now it's like, oh, she can get it. Things have really gotten off. Speaking of a vacuum, right? And not to say, since we talking about vacuum cleaners. Okay, so people always talk about the gang culture on the West Coast and say things like, that's stupid. Why are they doing that? Why are you fighting over colors? Why are you X, Y, Z? But never look at the picture historically. When you had the Black Panthers, right? Well, first of all, gangs period, you're talking about the 40s, right? Again, black people were redlined, blocked off, only could live in lower class, poor slum areas.
Right.
You would have white clubs, is what they called them, like the spook hunters and things like that would come into you came across a certain train track or whatever, you getting beaten with pipes, chains, bats. They would sometimes go out looking for you, and attacking people. So the groups in the black neighborhoods had an answer to that. They created their own clubs, like the Avenues, the Rebel Routes, the Businessmen. Did I say Avenues? Yeah, things like that. Barry White was in the Avenues. Barry White. Barry White was one of them. So and so that morphed into something. Then came the Black Panthers, right? Who began to organize, and that's the difference between having just gangs all spread all out. But when you start organizing people, now you become a problem. And we saw what happened to the Panthers. The government came in, COINTELPRO, got rid of the Panthers. That created a vacuum. So then you had all these youngsters with no direction. You remember, you took away their leaders, you took away their parents. So they tried to emulate what the Panthers were doing. So they went out getting the leather tams and the leather coats, and they would rob people. Matter of fact, what's the guy that got killed? The first one to get killed? Baloo. His name was Baloo. Baloo was his last name, and they robbed him for his jacket. He got killed, and it was in the paper. And all of a sudden, now this gang problem was like on Front Street. Yeah, Robert Baloo. So now it's like people look at one thing and say, now Crips and Bloods became international. They go, well, how is this scourge? And they want to punish the people that are involved, but never look at things historically. So anytime you have a vacuum, whether it's in your household with lack of leadership or a lack of parental presence, or even in society where there's no organization, it just leaves the door open for all kinds of nonsense to creep in.
That was a good correlation.
Yeah.
Because I
So welcome to the Boring Network. The Boring Network. For y'all don't know, public service announcements. This is the Boring Network. As you can see, we do not go over 20 in the chat. We use cameras. We use cameras around here, y'all. So we don't. Miss Murph, I'll have a correction. Miss Murph was on camera on her first show.
I was
on camera from the neck down, which is why she got those comments from the last guest. But we're not here. We don't do that here. We're all on the equal playing field. So so we do the camera thing, y'all, and we will put you to sleep. So just replay this at night if you have some insomnia or trouble sleeping. Just please play this back. And so we try to bring you the high quality. We do the cameras, we do the microphones. I had to set up my little preamp and stuff and give y'all this broadcast quality microphone coming straight to you from TK Studios and its affiliates.
But it's good conversation. I enjoy it when I come up here with you. Definitely good conversation.
I always enjoy it. I told you, I love to talk. And you see, I rambled on for what, like 45 minutes or however long before y'all came up. I can talk about just about anything.
Telling people it's harder than what they think. It's hard. It's real easy to sit in the audience and critique. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. So y'all heard Miss Murph say a couple times. She's like, "All right, y'all, what I'm gonna talk about now." I'm telling you, unless you pre-wrote notes or a script, it's real hard to do. That's why you see a lot of content creators reviewing lives where they're letting it play for like 15 minutes because they don't have to say anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy as it looks. So I told myself when I saw you were going live, I said, man, this earlier in the week, I said, let me get the lights back out. Cause in my studio, it's this is like a multi-purpose studio. Like right now, I'm gonna take a picture of what I'm looking at right now and send it to people. So I have like a camera on one wall, There's a monitor to
Mm-hmm.
my left, which I do production. There's a monitor to my right and a microphone where I do voiceover. Green screen
Mm-hmm.
behind me with box lights. There's a key light, a fill light in front of me. There's a headlight over top of me. There's a
Oh
backlight behind
wow.
my chair. Oh, it gets hot in here, y'all. You could sweat out a Jerry curl easily. But you got to
I
use
can't.
you got to use the space that. Oh yeah, damn. You got to use the space that you got and get the most out of it. So I was ready. I said, "Listen, Murphy's going on. We gotta support the Boring Network because Lord, you don't want to be
Thank
left up here
you.
tap dancing and babbling, y'all. It's hard. So and then it turned out to be a good conversation as usual, because we kept it going. So brother came up,
Yeah.
UT, he's boring. Josephine was up last week. She's boring. We're all boring people.
Yeah.
I.e., this is a no sector zone. So, you're
No
not going to
sectors
get,
on.
yeah, we don't do that over here. So, y'all, I know. But look, guess what, y'all? There's more boring people than it is any other content creator. So you better get used to it because we're not going anywhere. And I'm going to start doing a weekly show too. And we're going to bore
Okay.
your ass to death. So
That's
y'all ain't
what's
got
up.
no
Yeah.
choice.
Looking forward
Where else
to
you
it.
gonna go? Where else you gonna go? Because you didn't already saw your 12-hour sector live for the week or 18 hours. Once that's over with, you ain't gonna see them people for another 6 days. So you got to deal with us, and there's more of us than it is anybody else. Get ready,
Mhm.
putting your ass to sleep at a mic near you.
I'm trying to stay consistent. Like I said, I was going to cancel this live, but I said if I do that, the next
Make
weekend
it
I'm
easy to
not
cancel the next.
available.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, let me go ahead. I'll come up with something. And
And
I
once you,
talked to,
once you get started,
yeah,
it usually seems like it's usually going to roll because you seem to attract, what I mean, the mature conversation.
yeah,
Typically if somebody's no nonsense, they're going to
yeah. And
attract
that's
that
my
sort of
goal. That was my
conversation.
goal. A
And
chill place to hang out with.
yeah,
Listen to the conversation. Feel free to come up and join the
nobody
conversation.
threatening to pull up on nobody.
Not at all. Nope.
Nah,
Oh
It
man,
ain't that. It ain't that vibe.
yeah,
Hey,
mm-mm.
hoodie. Thanks for coming through.
I like it like that.
Well,
I think each type of content has its place, but
yeah.
this was definitely needed. We definitely needed this, and it's so like I said, it's several of us. So. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, If JJ is still in the sector, he's part of the Boring Network too. Definitely,
Yep.
he's gonna hold you
Yeah.
down from 2 in the morning to about 6. But what's funny, his stuff is actually interesting. His documentaries, his
Mm-hmm.
reviews, very well thought out, very intelligently placed. So, and that don't mean y'all won't see us in regular chats. We will be in regular chats, getting a troll on, doing our thing, because it is not all one sided. That's what we
It's
that's what we've
just
been
bringing
trying to.
balance.
Exactly. That's what. That's my word. I've been saying that for years.
Balance.
I kept saying that because you know how it is when the other folks are in the majority. What you say will get taken and misconstrued. Like people kept saying, he's telling us not to do what we want to do. I said, no, we need balance.
No.
And then somebody told me, shut the hell up and go do some balancing. So I started doing my thing. Now
And
you
here
doing
we
your
are.
thing. So now we
Yep.
creating a balance. So Sunday morning is where we
Yep.
at. You know.
I'm here. And fellas, it's almost time for the first game, I believe.
yeah,
We've
yeah,
talked for hours. Look, almost 3 hours.
yeah. Just
So,
Nice.
about.
you have any last words or anything else you want to talk about in 8 minutes?
You put a time limit
Eight
on it,
minutes.
Doc.
Oh, that's all we need, man. That's all we need. You know,
Yeah.
I personally, I kept seeing myself looking to the right, and I realized something said, "Hey, dummy, you got a monitor. Plug the monitor and put it in front of the camera, so that way you're looking straight ahead." I got all this technology, and it ain't even utilizing it. But now I'm looking straight ahead now, so people don't say,
Yes.
he on the drug because he keep looking to the left like he nervous, like his dealer, the plug is looking for him because he owe money.
Yeah, yeah,
Hilarious.
yeah. But like I said, great conversation, and
Thank you.
just keep up the great work.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
think you got.
We doing it.
Yeah, the more you do, the more people. You got people to stop through, people that you seem to be staying the whole time, and you
Yeah.
got a good cross section of people with various experiences So
Yes.
these types of conversations are fruitful because everyone's bringing their own, life experience or their own
Yes.
information that they've
Mm-hmm.
gleaned through the course of the years to the table, and then we could all take that information back and review it and just continue to edify ourselves. So that's a
Exactly.
good thing. So
Thank you, Philly fam. I
always a
appreciate
pleasure,
you.
sis. Always a pleasure. Yeah.
All right.
All
But
right.
listen, I'm
TMK?
gonna get on out
Yeah.
of here.
All
Great
right.
catching up with both of y'all, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't have to be up here all the time, but if I see I can have a little bit of input, it's always great to stop through. So,
Yeah. Much appreciated.
all right, I'll holler at y'all later on. Okay. All
All
right.
right. See you
Take care.
soon.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Doc. Well,
Doc
UT, when you
B?
going live?
you said.
When is you? Let us know when your show's coming up so we can tune in. Thank you. All righty.
And then there was two of us.
Yep. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you having the show,
You're
giving us something to do
welcome.
on Sundays. When I'm traveling, I'm always tuned in. I'll be mad because I'm like, man, I want to go, join the panel. And I told myself next time I'm home, definitely coming through. I understand the work
Thank
that it
you.
takes to do this. Love the graphics. I don't know what you got in that cup, but you've been drinking it for the last 3 hours. So obviously it must have some brand. I'm assuming some brandy is in there because it stayed smoking the whole time.
Toddy.
So yeah, no doubt that thing stays smoking. I was about to say, send me that, put that recipe in the back chat. And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're
Got me,
welcome.
got me a chance to use my other equipment I never get to use. So
All
thank you,
right.
and I
Thank
can't wait
you.
for the next one. All right, peace.
All right. Take care. Hello? Darn it, I got caught slipping. I didn't put the banner up.
It's just me. How you doing?
TMK, you still there? You need me to drop you?
Now I'm getting ready. I can't believe he came up at the end, man. See, I'm still playing games. Kick him off.
He tried to sneak in.
Kick him off. He waited till everybody left and he at the club. It's 1:58 last call. Now he gonna slip up talking about how you doing. You ain't buy a drink all night and then here you go. Nah, her girlfriend, she riding with them. Too late.
She had to bring in the clothes. That's all right, good brother. How you doing?
Oh, and my apology. Drama is also, matter of fact, he is the architect of the Boring Network, so got to give him his props.
Oh,
so hopefully hey, we need you in the rotation. Drama will be back in the maybe not Friday nights because that's not really a boring time frame. So we definitely gonna get him in the
All right,
rotation.
beautiful.
Y'all
Thank
stay
you.
tuned for that. And I'm out.
All right. Thank you, TMK. Yes, sir.
Great show, man. It's always. I'm not gonna be here long because I know you put it in the work today. Just wanted to stop in. Jesus Christ. Loving the show, loving the ecosystem you are creating here.
Yeah. A little something to do my part.
You're doing more than your part. You are exceeding expectations, and I am so happy. So
Thank
happy.
you. I'm being consistent.
We talked about this, and
Yes.
you are doing your thing, and I just want to
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
not gonna be up too long. I know I cause a little trouble when I swing through places.
Were you here when I was talking about the Cowboys?
You know what? Well, since both of our seasons are over, I can.
I know.
Deactivate.
I know.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready. I got to, championship games and all that stuff. So I'm getting ready. Yeah. Well, since I don't get a chance to catch you on the microphone, who do you got? Who do you got today?
Denver and LA. However, I think the Seahawks are going to beat the Rams.
Okay, I got Rams and I got Patriots.
Really?
I would have picked the Broncos, but no Knicks. No, that scares me.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no Bo Nix is scary.
Yeah. It could be. Might be
Well,
the Patriots.
well, since we're live, and I want to say this before I get up out of here. Now, you are
Mhm.
my 2024 project. Teresa was my 2025 project.
Okay.
And I see her because she's about to head to work. Beautiful is my 2026 project.
You can do it, beautiful.
Beautiful is my 2026 project. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to work on getting beautiful. First, I got to get on a panel. I know I can do that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think beautiful has a very unique perspective that needs to be
She
shared.
does.
And that is going to be my project for 2026. So,
But no pressure, though, beautiful.
no pressure. No
It
pressure.
took 2 years for me.
Ooh, boy.
It took
You-
2 years for me.
You were my roughest project. I was like, Jesus. But beautiful is next up. Beautiful is my next entry into the House of Drama. That is going to be my next project. I'm going to get beautiful to do a show.
And we would definitely support you, beautiful.
So I'm not going to hold you up because kickoff is coming in a minute.
Yeah,
so
it is.
we got to lock in. Got the drinks ready, family straight. Food is about to be prepared, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll see me where you normally see me.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming up. Pleasant surprise.
Not a problem.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, ma'am. And to all you people out there, y'all have a good day. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Stay warm. I don't have a catchphrase, dude. Well, yeah, I do. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurities. And I'm out. I'm out.
And
I'm
he's out.
No more trouble for me. Y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye.
Stay safe.
You too now.
Bye. Okay. Well, we did almost 3 hours. Not bad for a chick that had to be determined in the description. We talked some sports. We talked about, some TV shows, movies, actors, books, pushing the, gay agenda, I never know where the ride is going to take me, but I'm definitely enjoying the journey that we're on. Everybody stay safe, stay warm, and have a wonderful day. See you around the YouTube streets somewhere.
Let's go. Woman out of Philly, so you know it get really wrong. Know you gon' relate to everything when you hear us talk. Came up out of city where you learn from every single scar. Cherish all our wins, cause we not a stranger to the loss. I was just a girl, just focused on surviving. I done grown up in womanhood and started thriving. Here we cherish love, marriage, commitment. City where it's brotherly love, don't want division. Maturity is something I want, then I'm consistent. Something I want, I'm gon' get it. I learned to have intention and movement with purpose. Learn it if it costs you your peace, it isn't worth it. Honoring the lessons that turn into legacy. The past is what made me a more for what's ahead of me. Walking in alignment, every step is meant to be. Womanhood and love, it's not a trend, it's the recipe.